na no won so say back ya bona body foforo the worst performing currency in the world. Enti ofa currency dodo asika ewo wiase nyina ye de ye adwuma no a Ghana cedi no eni sika na hoodin ewo fam pa ese sika atete e mon homodin Ghana cedi. That's a very big news about this week. So question and crofobisa say just second quarter. But in fact, first quarter Kufuaro ekoye no na cedi no ni aye very stable around 15 cedis. Second quarter and abani sha say o induce cedi no say o induce cedi na hoden no na all one the panie we have a football and a sports man Quebec say doping enti o doping cedi no to boost na hoden and IMF for any World Bank also ye anti-doping agency also ba no to know yent mi nyaa ma wo doping cedi ni sa enfa nuro won no num ni ayi nubone e ma cedi na hoden e masoro ti omo che aban no e no man uche wa say warning say aban ye ma warning cedi ni de ye mpren e ma na nyesa ene cedi no ye say according to Bloomberg ye say the worst performing currency in the world. So you bet chance na ye disa ensem no honkomo again this week. Akwatia by election eba so Akwatia about 77,000 77,000 population. About 52,000 out of the 77,000 no registered voters on Aba. In the last election, 3 candidates, NDC, NPP, and then LPG. Abani we no Kwame Asimedu of the NPP 15,000, Bernard Bedu of the NDC 18,000, and LPG no I think about 80 or so. Voter turnout around 60%. Police for Makum 5,500. What you tell me? Let's every 10 voters be one policeman. And every 10 voters and one policeman. The election was very peaceful, except Sofo Azoka, the irresponsible Sofo Azoka, NDC National Vice Chairman. He is very reckless, he is very irresponsible, and he is the reason why you were hooliganism. And your friend is saying vigilantism in Ghana. Because vigilantism in Ghana, you know, there is Sofo Azoka. Because under the Fourth Republic, or Azoka boys, I by election bia o use sa Azoka boys no edi omuye tuturasem obi anim. Sofo Azoka is the root of vigilantism in Ghanaian politics, in present day or modern day Ghanaian politics. Sofo Azoka. What you say metrofo ekobon krofo metrofo akoyese ya Sofo Azoka. Ono na design sa model no ye de eti efafa ballot box na ye bon krofo abatumu. Because on the day Azoka boys buy and son and crow for heso. Ete Bamba boys, Ete Invisible Forces, Delta Forces, Paga Crocodiles, Ete Krohohe Mosquitoes, and all those groups no more Ete. Because so far Azoka a bad example for the society Ghana. And then ya so be a so ampa okodani irresponsibility no edi. Say nyasa act na oye na anka ye kwakotia ba ya yanti asemboni bia. And lessons to be learned from Akwatia, especially for the New Patriotic Party. And a pay ye bimwa na yashe said ya and seminal isi etie. In fact, this very week, Omanpeni John Mahama Epamu Chief Justice. I mean Justice Gertrude Isaba Tokonu. Reasons are ujina so at the Pamo Mameno and Nama and Nipa Bibri Kasabi say a lot of questions. One, yes, so only kunu etukwan on the bell to quanti ya pamono. Two, yes, say well, as the head of the Judiciary, no, what transfer ubi into ya pamono. Now, as Chief Justice, our head of the Judiciary, no, mean pamu, mean transfer ubi dia. Then the why be and the bet me transfer ubi Judiciary. So, and also so a wasam and so Then the third one, our mujina so say, what your letter the Kwaku man penny say, Mampani appoint new Supreme Court justices, about 5 of them. Meanwhile, Mampani Mahama Baye no less than 3 months. Now I appointed 7 Supreme Court justices. Unprecedented. Unprecedented. And we use Kwame Nkrumah. 1962. Kulungungu Bomben be a course. Na yedi asam no ekọ court na enipa Kwame Nkrumah fo say omuna secretary kwan fa so judicial ne fa so di asam na ni anye ho e na December 1963 oyi chief justice na oho ese akụkọ so afiri ho no na president bia ni ho awaba o man mu a we chief justice bia di except John Dramani Mahama pe e na wapamo a certain chief justice afiri na konwa so se ompene e ma na nya adwuma ni tunsanso e wo Ghana ya manyosem ya judiciary no ene atentere ne justice system no eye sen anopei ibedu sa enkomo no the new patriotic party campaign na hyase koso ru Kennedy akompre ko Japan ono so ahyase ehyiahia nkrofo as usual ono so ahyase kasa na ensem bi odi atodwa no eno so nkrofo bebre ebisa lot of questions yedi kan waka say Omampani Mahama elusu by close to 1 million votes na taking 8 years ansa na otimi a recover na waba enti Bawumia elusu 1.7 million na how many years na ebe take Bawumia ansa na Bawumia timi a recover asan recapture power biom and odi show say Ghana for should find X egrofo find X no and egrofo were interesting X because ebia ka say but he can Japan is the X because one of the main reasons in NPP lose last election no honorable Kennedy Japan because Ninsama wo kan ye ene niema wo ye ni nyina no amwa party no NDC for use the voice the videos and the campaign ti Bawumia e ma Bawumia lose ye reckon Japan biem say okofa form no ye ka kire ne say obi a wo pese ogina bia no obetua a development fee of 4 million Ghana cedis e di aboa party no enti okofile ye no na ombisa ne se na ne 4 million ne wo hefa enti okasa wo ho se eye fere ye se party MPP no ni sika na party ntimi nya election na enunti party no demande 4 million Ghana cedis from each of the aspirants and so no etimi organize the election. Yes, it's true. Many honorable Kennedy Japan adwene me kai say Dr. China oye treasure CCA no abria oye campaign no me ye one of the people I'm supporting Dr. China campaign and obafia say me ni di nkomo and the reason ba ko a no dey ba ye mu bi support no ni say obeba beboa mobilize sika for the party so that party no be self dependent na party no nko rely on obia so Dr. China MPP before bo MPP before hwe sa aboshe no so eto abadema no almost 4 years any MPP still nisika party ni co-opposition no it was first 2 months no na party headquarters come ntimi ntua adwumafo hoka so Dr. Bawumia have to mobilize money na won fan party headquarters na ntimi enfa ntua adwumafo ka so the financial secretary and then the treasurer now omadwuma omaye no it comes under scrutiny. I say your question omo the ntia omo party headquarters wa omo ntimi mobilize sika enfa mo party no na party ni sustainable na party ni free aban December January February ni esi ntimi ntua party adwuma efoka a very sad situation. But the other aspect of Kennedy Japan a statement na a demand questions and say or say party ni ba aban mu a ese party no ebo ankrofo e mamma ankrofo contract no muso atimi nya sika e di abo ankrofo unya kasa apa then ankrofo aba we say akrobeto so hwan na kasa asimi because any contract in some dia then say so na Kennedy Japan entua 4 million development fee. I don't expect him to have problem with that because yeka NPP for under NPP aban omunya aban contractor ona Kennedy Japan timi nka say onka ho and if honorable Kennedy Japan complaining about say ye buy man crofon that contract near the man for because him contractor a cost so and the Kufu Adraban bia offer top 5 Honorable Kennedy Japan can never ever be outside the top 5. He will be in the top 5 individuals omunya contract under NPP aban. Now no Kwaku tie na abedin to mobilize money. Omo a party ni ba ya omunya contract enya esika no. Why are they refusing to support the party? Sasa party no levy obia 4 million Ghana cedis na onfa enkoye primaries. Na nkrofo kasa. Look, in the last NDC primaries, Raja Mahama Nkwama 15 million Ghana cedis. Raja Mahama Nkwama Oma NDC each delegate each delegate be I think 40 cedis or 30 cedis. And ye calculation across the country no. Na Raja Mahama Nkwama etua 15 million Ghana cedis. And the man NDC for and sana NDC for etimi ayom National Congress one kwabredu for omu chinchim kwabredu for nsa na omu di yi Raja Mahama. If Raja Mahama as an opposition leader is able to raise 15 million Ghana cedis, na odi support NDC no ma ye omu Congress adentina there should be 4 million all problem because once you decide to be president you must be resourceful. And you carry resourceful no a enya se ni nyina fi botomu se wo ye obi a enkrofo wo mu didie na enkrofo ready and willing some be sika dia tawachi na wani so adi hu na tinya bam na won so ba be so moman no enti yesre pa benefo so wanya hwea no wase a unsan monokro no yera kan Japan contract no unya bi and they won't mean kase wanya bi unya bi papa unya bi. Enti mo amunya contract ne saa no and abri osun da fami ense mo boa wo no. In fact, over the years, Honorable Kennedy Japan, you were very loud. And they were more the about party no. But it presupposes say last election, one more party no, one more in terms of resources, one more party no, because now person the party anymore, went to any party anymore, we be di anymore. Enti one more party no. Unless say be what about the trouble thing? One more last campaign. One more send our previous campaign because now pursue the party they went to any enemy. To more amunya one track in the sano. And more yet in town juicy positions at the mamono. Mona sabria party ne one who hear me. Samunina more back on board Abua party now. Anka presidential aspirants will not have to cough 4 million Ghana cedis to support the party to run its congress. It's here no has some anyhow. Now reckon Japan analysis no. Okasa President Kofo, President Mahama, elusu by 1 million votes, and it taking 8 years to recover. But near one country NPP delegate and say, Nana Mampenda Kofo 96, onusu lusu by 1.3 million. 2 Teniye Pau 1996. NPP represented Kofo for the first time no. Kofo any Rawlings margin a domuntem no na a 1.3 million votes. But Kofo was able to work hard na on recover na on beat a new candidate of the NDC oye John Mills. See ni pa an analysis no ewo on one hwani ya o the emotions oba me say ayi no. Ora John Mahama any candidate Kufuado na omako election 2012 Ambura Mahama ebiti candidate Kufuado and na candidate Kufuado ebiti John Mahama 2016 by a million votes. Then John Mahama Noah why vice president for almost 2 terms. No abe acting president, abe president 1 term no abe opposition leader no. Esanya Kufuado kobiem. And he was able to close the gap by 500,000. And the following election na only Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia Ekono. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was a new candidate on the ticket of the NPP. So Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia a new candidate no lost to the year your friend is saying John Dramani Mahama an old face. Now I was still a ticket so for a very long time. The same way John Ejekum Kufuor any Rawlings Echo 96. Rawlings being an old gem in the game, ABT John Kufuor 96 with 1.3 million votes. MPP for say, okay, you presented John Kufuor being. And fortunately for John Kufuor, no, also on the second term, no, now NDC candidate, no, a new person in the person of John Mills. A John election, no, John Kufuor was able to close the gap at a year 1.3 million gap, no, and went ahead to win in a runoff. And with the support of other parties, no, we need by 56%. So chart NATO. Mahmoud Bawumia lose by 1.7 million votes. Mahmoud Bawumia I running mate 8 years. About vice president 8 years. Oko against John Mahama. I don't know so or the same. In fact, I don't know why president that. And then yes, I 2028. John Mahama oye old face. Now your old face, now oye gem no. John Mahama is not contesting again. So Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is now the gem. And he's going to meet a new candidate from the NDC. And as our history no etieno, no new candidate and the etienne winning election. In fact, especially in the MPP, no one. In the MPP tradition, no, Obian Timi my precopa from 92, I went to winning election. This was banal Sambabim. So there be a just banal Sambabim. And so not me winning. So Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia waba well lose dear or Saba, and this time against a new candidate from the NDC. So be a catch or say a Olusu by a 1.7 million votes. It's how many years are chat on my brother actually chat nato. And ask Dr. Bawumia Kaibribi a tremono or say if in 1992 candidate be a handy over to candidate or in the contest here. So Rollins a handy over to Kufuor contested Rollins 96. Kufuor a handy over to Atamos contested Kufuor 2004. 2004. Atamos nyame friend Mahama eba no Mahama ne Kufuor ko 2012. Enti Mahama handy over to Kufuor on the call 2012 no in 2016. And then Kufuor comes back to hand over to Mahama on the call 2012, 2016 and 2020 no on be handy over the man. And now John Mahama so ayi Bawumia and ebe contest here. And it is time Sam Mahama Ekwi or be handed over to Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. And the chart NATO as simple as that. And more be for adwin agro. Some for some person more sincere, no more honest analysis. They should go for 1996 and they're perfect. Because the same chart and out 1996 election and the 2000 election no, the same as 2024 and 2028 elections. Na yenesa na yetimi akwene midi edi Kwaku Dawuro aha Bɛkyerɛ mu edi ama Gordon Asare medi ako enche abeduafo be kam ho na fiye wuransem mu. I got to
Good morning.
Na bokodi
I'm not doing the boko na patron say.
Oh, nyankopon adom. Yenso ye ho ye papa. Anopay na asa niema ayeyi kakra because yi sha se nyina ja. See the no first quarter na aye very stable. Second quarter ni hu se na ho odin no apagya ma dollar no e kofam. Echeni ati so see the best performing currency in the world. Afi endra ya see afi die ababeye the worst performing currency in the world. The Crawford shall see news by Crawford say fake news. So Crawford shall say bisa ne ba ne sen. Mona eba sikasem entutuye ne hyehyɛ ya mote ase. Eba ne sen.
I mean, Chow, Menda Master, production team na initiative for Ninan. I mean, Chagana Fonso. I mean, say, a buy is the anati, a more indicate about fire little tone parties, exchange rate, and a city now more than I am a little some international currency to say the dollar, the euro, and the pound. Na you share media reviewer minister in control be the try na we share last year na see in terms of depreciation then na so na ho den so compared to some major trading currencies in Libya it depreciated about 42.6% last year to the US dollar. And it also depreciated about 30.3% to the euro, and it depreciated 25.6, 30.3 to the pound, British pound, and at 25.6 to the euro. Now, time now minister able encounter media review somewhere July thereabouts. On said that one a lot of recovery and asset sustainability. At the same time last year, this year, last year, it's me, it depreciated 18.6% instead of the 42.6% last year. And then again, to the British pound, now it depreciated 17.9% instead of 30.3% last year, and then 16% to 25.6% to the euro last year. It's not clearly share the rate of depreciation now. So about from not just emu and the era as it's me in that downward trend, meaning that the city has gained, and as with me from January to a third quarter and Contebua Bloomberg for Ediabe. It's also the same Bloomberg Bɛkyerɛ and said by April, somewhere April, it was the best performing currency. Then you will see And between April, now a year the best performing currency. May, June, July, in Kuntebu Epaya, you see the number the worst performing currency as you say, Yeah, Baba Bitimu and Komoye. Of course, the room say, Oshe, your traditional economy now. Yemen data is been characterized by an import-driven status. And again, in Sono, Yebeku Yechika Krana, Onsena CB no ever formed on. Na Bank of Ghana, that can no more interventions can crack. Interventions are no more say about forex supply, and I say a dollar supply in the market. That the importers on being dollars, Edia Kanyoma, Edia Bao mining mono. Ayana dollar no Bank of Ghana of Enomunya Eddie free. In the Bank of Ghana, you share your reserves are your work. And then with the upstream of the Ghana Gold Border, with the gold purchase program, and as a gold, currently the gold export program are buying air now. Now you have a lot of reserves from gold and as a foreign exchange from gold. And at the time, no Bank of Ghana is able to, pump in some dollar. Anytime, and I say every week, and I say every month, almost the dollar needed in terms of demand. Now, Bank of Ghana is able to release by auctioning it out. Then they are importers, a dollar maybe because of the high demand on the US dollar. And to come and see the ever from the brain, you realize say you see dollar no, I want the ever from na a favor importers, and of course, also a favor consumers. Because the dollar platform, because of how traditional our economy is, yes, a dollar board for shop, we say a cat fango board, a cat fango board, we say a cat or other commodities, etc. So now your market if you default so as to your mass not at the inflation, driving inflation. And any time, the dollar never formula. A boy importers, a boy consumers. But the other side of the conversation is the export sector, which is our external sector. Exports now, See, no, I'm holding a pie and not the movie do not dollar about from not what the export sectors of our economy. And also need foreign exchange you need to do in the normal, trade accounts and also even the normal remittances and now foreign direct investments are did or mining because what is the essence of you be focusing in the productive sectors. You share your money, you consuming or mining more. You be me you send your pay, you bet farm on your kunis kadiaba or mining. That is how every economy or interventions in Kakaka just Bank of Ghana or dollar no you share ADR or more calculate every week and I say every month. The amount of dollar they deploy and imported being a phenomenal be released the ecosystem so that they get it and then import. And now, export sectors for no complaining, so no complaining, The Becca said, President Mahama, Ebeka say, the true value, before you see the true value of the
CD.
Yes, should be between 10 and 12.
And 12, yes.
A try and say in simple logic and I say in simple analysis, and a try and say something was happening behind. And which was the interventions now in the Bank of Ghana and
Cranko, you move beside one say Ban is saying it me board room it determine the value of the city because if the value of the city now a demand and supply assem.
That's right. If you won't say just as you said, now the value of the city in simple terms should be the demand and supply. And the demand and supply is also, created by the kind of goods are your local goods, the value of your local goods, which is how much it works on the international stage. And may make up into some of the commodities, and we are now my recommendation and what the government can move it up from there because they say, the intervention has been limited. Don't say IMF for about the Kanwa say the Bank of Ghana should limit, marketing, right? And after the Mahama Council, after meeting the export sector, and also Council Bɛkyerɛ and say there is a true value of our city. They say, with the limitation of Bank of Ghana, our withdraw in terms of the percentage of the supply of dollars to the market, and that is IMF and said this caveat being there. Let's see the real reality of the performance based on supply, demand and supply. And they say, what is clearly happening is that you should be able to generate the dollars within your own economy without any intervention, without any additional supply from anywhere. And currently, we are still under IMF support. It's IMF for you share a balance of payments now. Dollar now you be here, no more they mine as part of a tele credit facility. It's the can say I was a binding to making sure that you a good enough forex within your own parameters based on the supply and demand and based on your foreign earning commodities like this car amonomic then at the brow. The one is that I say you are not focusing on the productive sectors of the economy, you are not focusing on industrialization, you are not creating more jobs as we want to see or as it ought to have been done. And a ban is you creative value, and then you say, you have dollar because of your dollar no Bank of Ghana, that Bank of Ghana pumping in Ediaba, and that system is not sustainable. And that is why we are seeing the current depreciation of our city. I heard Bloomberg reports now. They said something emphatic. Also, because of ahead of Christmas, you see most of the business community by now, because we share or more real other levels or more by now, no business community will be started placing order because Christmas is about 3 months or 4 months ahead of us. And because of the crack in your man, our economy, import driven, or it's been characterized by an import driven, activities, By now, the phobia started placing orders. Because of those the second quarter now a normal import, normal orders, but people are planning, the business communities are anticipating. By now, people are estimating how much goods and services or the people are minding food at it's when we are approaching Christmas, and people place huge orders because of how the Christmas air targets. It's the third quarter a lot of demand and as the increases in demand are controlled. And when the importers normally come home and almost target the Christmas festivities and they want to increase their sales, they have to send their bill of lading, their wages, everything ahead of time. Send it there. Almost any man, they by 2 months' time now. They are just getting their goods somewhere November and then early December to sell. You see, the demand for the dollar also significantly. Unlike the first and second quarters, now any major events attracted this particular increase in demand. And that is where we are at the moment. And this thing, a seasonal. That is our traditional economy because about the now we say, dollar because the demand starts going on it. Traffic air also the phone will be after dollar they are carrying local pitches or the regional Sunday other overseas companies and other suppliers and other vendors or more than your money from. By now people are just making payments and making transfers and all that. And that is what is happening at the moment. And this is how our economy has behaved over the years. And I believe that with the restrictions that IMF for it's about Bank of Ghana for Bank of Ghana for Bɛkyerɛ too. Normal limit mono. Now the Mahaman so to say the true value of our city, between 10 to 12 Not just without intervention on air force on your home Bɛkyerɛ with this Bloomberg reporter about Bontino. And that is what I said. I think it's long overdue for the government to start focusing on the productive sectors. Now, and a bit to me applying going forward because
gold board once because Yera Mahama a catcher so see the anya hodinano or the Huabas about the boss fee and gold board. Gold board needs him say and Amona air to Ghana good in a de cocoton on Nisikum in your scanner deba. ABI entities as papano. Sanko my ho no be okotoni gold, no nya dollar, no the be good economy nim say be ya Sydney benya hodin. IMF ni problem ni saying.
That's a bit spoken. Even Mami Kwesheka before good board ever be dinane na so no. The commodity ba ko e dollar every kuku. And because of good board ne buy ni na Kwaku kuku no ye to na se kakra o ta buy exchange ni. Nanka by this time now to see September, October no. Nka by now no bon say kuku syndication ya na kuku board for your syndications nka by now bon say kuku money up back system and that can buy goes to Bank of Ghana. The Bank of Ghana and Kaka no more $10 net the back system. And just as you said, to say no gold not PT. Amba ushe commodity a disika every so a gold. That is a fact. Because Ushe Bank of Ghana did more. Gold is doing so well as we speak. Miss Miaka said gold now is the backbone of Ghana's economy. Unlike Seneca, cocoa is the backbone of Ghana's economy. No? Because export, amount and also liquidity, good at the April or minor. After July, even after the end of the second quarter, June, and gold at the about 8.38, you're wrapping it up at 8.4 billion, cities, and I did bread or mine Ghana from January to June. we share July figures at the value of our goods. July exports our goods in the brand is about 2.75 billion. Yes, gold maybe a buyer. No, I know that it is a creation of previous and past governments and a gold no board no about baby something and say the about baby. Now gold maybe people. It's the kind of Bank of Ghana. There should be some value. There should be some value to earn the reserve and after the dollar. No, in the sense that Bank of Ghana aims to me and fight the Ghana as a dollar nepa. Normal question, oh yes, some dollar no for no value and after for no demand. I was say a good no, it's me, it's just an idea. I will make sure say wow, best cranioma at the apano. I will see $1 nepa teach you no, and I will see it to me amount dollar maybe. As I'm for abuse, market number abuse, and then I said. One of the investment advice to no fires, the only be able to see I'll see the Nafa for dollar, no, Nafa no, just like that, for no value for every and say who save you a dollar anymore. And we don't want that situation, yes, good no edit can air or mine it here. But I was said the true needs and I say good dollar nankasano. And I also hear the Emma woman because of how I have to see a my city now one day. I yet in a night, you see no year currency here. I don't need to across board. Don't say Embra would be free or mindful foreign exchange act. And no say I was say a TPBA was sitting dollar net year. And the worst case scenario, I hear for 9 for Nepal now, no. I didn't know for Nana, would be a cano. Yes, $1 na and on a baby mu ediaba. And see what I wanted to drive at is we check the export and then the import now. 3 major commodities are made with that cocoa, gold, and oil. Data. And I will be a friend of other exports. In the other exports near all exports are without food, cocoa, and oil. In the fruit and vegetables, other areas need to turn your money be public. We share the same figures now, and at this Bank of Ghana. You say comparing other exports to other imports, other imports FCT up, other imports in Kwano, a figure of 5.6 billion.
I see.
And against the other exports of 1.8 billion. You see, the compensating effect, your other exports is not able to balance your other imports. That means the other imports or the import sector is still growing, just as the Bloomberg report, urban. And that will mean that you still need forex. And my advice and as advocacy will be say it's high time I will say about these 2 items, the other imports and then the other exports. Yes, gold media. Say in 24 me artisanal miners here for so much me good and also much me the good no about the boy. But that is not
who came to say other importer who came and then said the amount of excavators imported Ediaba Ghana cry ya and yasam ketwa from January to June excavators clear a register Ghana or DVLA according to records about 6,850 excavators. So nina excavator and so bo nyasam ketwa so nina into the other importer grow more higher than other importer grow more higher than the exporter meboa.
Yes, that's the emphasis there.
I see. So
number 7, I wanted to add even rice and then sugar. There's also automotive gas, oil now. You certify your cars and your vehicle because carburetor machines in here oil to lubricants and and also cost for cereals. You more dear, previous government na honorable then minister for trade, not or restricted. That's right. And in and so air cost row. If those other imports, not to say, air cost row, that is where the problem is. And this is why I said we need to move into the productive sectors with these areas. And I say, no matter air no. A pandemic, so now a binding use the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Trade, with the support to industries, not yet me as a production. Let's not forget the poultry consumption. Wow, the debate on poultry.
Yeah,
and
but,
then the import of
a long term, but if you say buy no, I say we take measures bit panic a friend is saying measures say or suspending some of the remittance companies license 1 month and who say now in bank be suspended the month and no actually show $10,000 yeah penny my own fine to can you say Sani mano a bar. I want to so be economy so now.
A patcho ane won so ni sun say one say on say we see the name na ho de no aye free flow is aside say your percent ye be good no e back ye see the no ho de no, but we have a limiting factor which is the demand for the dollar and it didn't mean ya share. I did say, dear, the energy for me, I deliberate attempt to be so. The same idea, dollar no, ye not a crowd or my name, but also we belong to the international economy and there are international transactions in it will call for the dollar. But what is in transfer interventions now, Bank of Ghana, the short term in your media, we've overlooked those issues, and ADR by notices B and all that, you beat me also because we don't want to promote say you use dollar no. One said and maybe a few real estate estate dining you put in or dollar moon. Hotels instead of the city, normal $40 equivalent into the China, you need to exchange it to the city and pay the hotels and just $2. We share most of a contract I can say minding more. The officer more healthy against inflation. They don't want to even quote the city. Most of the big contracts, road contracts, and other projects are in high-rise buildings. Minding more for a year in dollar muno we share contracts from any contract or more developing now. It's all in dollars. And the ban is after this strain, a mass, and the whole trend, and those are the things that your Foreign Exchange Act, is against it. Now, may share this Muna BPS trend analysis and means that Bank of Ghana, and they should really back instead of the notices no issue because from 1998 to 2012 to somewhere 2019, 2021, and the current 2025, notices that Bank of Ghana almost issue almost red flag the promotion of the usage of dollars in the country. It's about the same thing. The Bank of Ghana with notices so and so is cautioning the public against the usage of, and they want to make sure that all goods and services should not be quoted or should not be priced in dollars, still or whatever. It's high time the Bank of Ghana to move into the market and set people as a scapegoat to deter people, not just by way of notices. We share notices on the same content, same message, same broad for now, once or more or paragraphs maybe, but the import is the same. And the issue notices are from 1998 till now. We are still battling with this dollar issue. IAU2 or minimum. The Bank of Ghana should move beyond the notices and go into the market space and go after people. If it is about hotels, you go there. If it's about real estate, we know where they are. Show me books, show me pricing levels. If they are $14, you caution them. Then lower for what find this so I will do accountable. If you are issue notices and inquiry Janet Radia, it will come back to the four settings and people will start quoting the dollar because of share with inflation or share macroeconomic indicators are what they are buying a who won't say and quote in kind pay. I'm sure the Janet, I know now where they see dynamic, it will remain media. And this is what I'm saying, say, government should be cautious about some of these short-term measures, Now we're building into the medium and long term. I know all the notice way back, and you are not entering into the real estate market. Government is not providing housing. Government is not providing affordable housing scheme for the people. And the private sector will dictate the pace for you and even control your policies for your own team and your own country.
All right,
and
so very important. But what can you ask? Any Bank of Ghana will foot you some bit you so muntino. Year neighbor and any ye be the new year muno. From where you sit, who has it now what they saying?
Well, it's likely the city would depreciate further from the win. It's because from now to the first quarter of 2026, once a year be we are near the one new year. From now, in Kofobe started placing more orders. In Kofo, any more expected or goods because of the Christmas festivities, Ebema dollar more than a cost because simply demand a cost. Now the demand a cost. Now your economy nankasa entity and generate the dollar for the ABD4 importers and exporters. Now for normal per dollar because they are placing more demand. After Symphony Bloomberg for their bay new. Not to say, you for 8 years, you started September, October, November. At that time, no more imports, more orders, cargo trade, in Yoma Edeban. It's likely the city will depreciate further unless the Ministry of Finance and also the Finance Minister will liaise with the Governor Bank of Ghana. And that is the intervention. But now there is also a portion by your big brother, which is the IMF. It is the IMF confidence and the trust. You are not giving your international investors that confidence and trust. And what is happening is likely the CD would depreciate further. And then to see a Bank of Ghana could be 11.9. Oko Forex Exchange, they are getting it at 12. Black market value, it be a 13. And to see Koma restricted the dollar, it's likely the CD will go down a little more than what we are getting.
I see. What happens to the Ato is forcing? Ato I am
I think on a fair level, I saw Honorable Minister Waboni Homodin, which is not easy. They will let's also not discount the fact that it's not so easy to manage the forest at this time. But you say the realities are setting in. Only say there's a conversation also behind a little bit with the gold board issues. The production is going down. So meaning so what there? And say if production of gold is going down, it means a gold board no one to mean on a dodo senior on better almost a deploy forex because this whole gold board thing a short term is about short term. Gold no can be far minus in about a year from there by 6 times. And to say they are here liquidity forest at their supply of market now gold in buy now for town if they do baby looking at how they were doing the intervention, they need to see the reserves and after the foreign exchange now and you need to now go and buy more. And when you go into the market with that designer miners and they are not bringing you the produce which is from the production of the gold now, you will find yourself wanting. And again, there is this debate about the pricing schemes which is good and that price, and then the miners now are not too happy about the price of good board for at the market 24 and show many and show on because you entered into the market. The miners they already knew the price on the international scene. They were selling their gold already before you came in. It's regulate you now also no you have to be a little bit flexible with them. Then they can have the confidence to come and sell their goods to you. But right. I'm seeing that it's not all well with the full gold board and then the production to the sales to the gold board. And I think that openings and medium fee on share because a crash they are not a better than Katra. And the miners are finding different ways to export their gold, but if you look at that, now if you are market, now me are clamping it down to support our economy because it is the interest of all of us. And when they are doing things right now, we need to constructively criticize and better so now the ordinary Ghanaian. Then we always is that our mind is about bread and butter issue. You see it's true here, say you see in the or minimum, you see it's a seminar and for thoughts and send a bear. Because we show here now the gap between the rich and the poor as soon as the inequality governor. It's very, very huge. You can see poverty. Poverty can stare at you. So one can Kenya you will be on such of them for so many and nothing will happen to you. And say I am Penny policies, any of my share on the economy, and I bet me access the gap, the inequality gap. Now, in here for more mini be a me in ya in any be a day in Pastor. And the person be a better uplift here, who feed the poverty on near war minimum. Now, at the end of the day, the union are your home ever trying.
All right, Jima, and pay medawasi any a bre a woni edin komo bibiania ebesiaba. All right, so Julius Jima, economist, and an pay only edin komo higher Bɛkyerɛ on Movement TV, and I yede ebrononkron abo apawonsima minu enche abedwafo betras na yedi enkomo. So the issue about Ghana cedi no being the worst performing currency in the world, and an pay yetimi achechi mudiaba neba say no a na Bank of Ghana for start some of the panic actions at the air bar. Then one way na say a man for no so start say almost so the panic actions to be share by no. Then it will lead to pay more people buying more dollars. And the bass answer na the more pressure and so at the to see nation. Na ama see no etimi depreciating more na fi behind the general economy because e ba say pe na ubia so eboa woje no na otum because enema dodo a yedidi djuma Ghana na nyina no imported nti no se ba se dollar ne bo kosoro sa pa na fi e be affect all aspect of our economy na eno edio how e dey abrain. One of the issues so a na watwi mu aba ha adwen ni se ukọ Savannah regional gonja for ne bre for kontokwa na entokwa na ma enipa asat anya na nsa e check ne se enipa be 20 na ahwere omo enkwa ibi se eboro sa ebi nso se enuru num ne ade but yenim for a fact se ukọ Cote d'Ivoire Ghana for mako 14,000 refugees ewo ho awmufi the Savannah region of Ghana awmoko ebi nso esane aba ase ha sei enom ne ade but say ebibesi ama Ghana for 14,000 across the border akoko d'Ivoire ekosiki asylum na besi ne aduane ombedie insu ombenom bucket ne ombedware ne manema nyina aye problem no ade bia ha adwen na otia na ama osen afem pa ye live on Facebook ye live on YouTube ni nyina Movement TV ko na woni yen enshare osuso wadwen kire ewo yenkoma yedi ho anche bekọ ahoma so na yene lawyer Kwame Adofo so atwetwe enkomo.
Sometimes I feel sad when I see some of our northern brothers running around and also doing this. They will use you and dump you. I want to live to see the day. You let anything happen today and let our brother Bamia say he's standing for president in NPP. They will never give it to him. I can assure you. When the misfortune hit us and our father Professor Mills passed away, the constitution said that the vice president should take over. I did. But then we're close to an election. If it was another party, they would have insisted that there should be a congress. And in that congress, I would have been contested. And they would have given the leadership to somebody else. But when it happened, the NDC's National Executive Committee called a meeting and said, no, there will be no congress. We are passing a resolution. John Mahama is the vice president. We are going to support him to lead us into this election. And we went into the election and God gave victory to us. And so I'm proud to be a member of the NDC because I know it is a party that opens opportunities for all people of Ghana, irrespective of your ethnic affiliation or your religious affiliation. Sometimes I feel sad when I see some of our northern brothers running around and also doing this. They will use you and dump you. I want to live to see the day. You let anything happen today and let our brother Bawumia say he's standing for president in NPP. They will never give it to him. I can assure you. When the misfortune hit us and our father Professor Mills passed away, the constitution said that the vice president should take over. I did. But then we're close to an election. If it was another party, they would have insisted that there should be a Congress. And in that Congress, I would have been contested. And they would have given the leadership to somebody else. But when it happened, the NDC's National Executive Committee called a meeting and said, no, there will be no Congress. We are passing a resolution. John Mahama is the vice president. We are going to support him to lead us into this election. And we went into the election and God gave victory to us. And so I'm proud to be a member of the NDC because I know it is a party that opens opportunities for all people of Ghana, irrespective of your ethnic affiliation or your religious affiliation.
Come Martin.
Yenio.
Now, who ye dear?
Mehoye, Namusumo.
Yankupa drum, Yansu Huye, Papa. Now what tree moo and I'm say, Mekaise either Tuesday or Monday or Wednesday, and no be doing Komokakra, about Chief Justice ayi na debate na ebrinti enne no minimisa afi de wanya bre atieti nkomo bebre ama nkrata nso bi ebeba abonten so wakinkan bi num ne ade baby a gina sisi ya no ene ne wahu sisi ya no se wo se obo ni nyina tofa process no obe describe ne sen na who going forward in so saying
minimum I mean share ahefo nyina ani otiefo na me ma watching bio you say me hun say that is so very very easy to be chief justice.
I see
yes you see me hun say it's very very easy to be chief justice. And they say you see hun say what do ba etu kwanya misconduct. Yahoo say, so we chief justice not transfer will be a stated misconduct. Yahoo say, we chief justice not say, Subabia obey our office bia. What will be a stated misconduct. It is a very, very easy. It is Obi John said that you also have a chief justice. Who say, so we chief justice. Na abaya what is also be you. The president say obey you. It's a money say no three arms of government no. But who are crippled? Judiciary are crippled. President the bar your penal obey. It is a afani afakwa more who issue so court. Was on court. Judge no, in Yaku could draw in Wamau in Tia Abino.
Okay, no, maybe I'm imagining a corner say, Speaker of Parliament, Obayi, Mammy, if you are thinking now, or your spokesperson for Ghana Police Service. Parliament, I was spokesperson did that in the person of Kitado. Speaker of Parliament, Akwakofa, a fear thingy, Ednaba, Parliament was a mayor spokesperson. Asankofa, a known political party chairman, says Sidin Ketia, I think on the chair Parliamentary Service Board. Ramahama, the first time you buy or ye may move in your lawyer for, but you said not a unconstitutional transfer. He said, we'll transfer the head of a constitutional body. He said, NCC, now would not call the Electoral Commission in the person of Saloto say. Auntie, and then, Niabane say, Omudo Mutimi, yes, I name na. Now, the head of the Judiciary, no, say, Obition, I say, now, or yen a Jumana of say, be on any year or transfer now. I know they are misconduct.
Well, I say, no, they are to remove a chief justice.
There's a way chief justice and Obi and Judiciary na sabi odin sem kra untimi transfer no.
They say the sada say na maminka will say that anyema ejina so ayi chief justice I saw the bear to kwai speaker babia obonidi last year what the ebusia for even the house help May 7th it to Kwaku Dubai. I don't know the union fee for causing financial loss, unnecessary expense to the state. Is there no day? A staff I chat to her say, we chief justice, we need secured bill. Now, material say, minority leaders will propose a new bill to make it difficult to remove a chief justice in the future. May say, a law is superior to the Constitution. And maybe inferior to the Constitution. It is only Gary Grawa. Not a Obu for Bass. That's what Castle be chief justice be.
There's a constitutional review process, so maybe it can be fixed in that process.
Well, anyway, some within the constitutional framework there. That's a different story. Now, constitutional framework, So manya MPP amana support it will fail. And they're saying they need at least 40% of registered voters to attend and vote. And out of that, they need 75% to vote yes. And they say if MPP doesn't support it, constitutional amendment be on baby abe fail. It is also no what to hold. Ghana that ehu pa. It will be what we did chief justice be onke who say. They say who say we need to meet her. And so judicial power no does not lie in the hands of politicians. It lie or exercised by the chief justice. And even the president is subject to the constitution as interpreted by the Supreme Court. To show strict sense, no, president will more so Supreme Court so and our constitution so. It is for you to go to the sense say what you can so be the Nikuru to coin, or be the Neba to coin, or be at transfer or be within the judicial service. It is system misconduct. Yeah. And that is a chief justice behind secured was our man. Now, you see, some of what chat to honor. The slow, the dirty now. We will follow. That is some. Give me who
a simple na near bay no. See how your chief justice in po any year we say now by lower court judge and I say Supreme Court judge. So it is similar to anymore. How political a year? How do you approach it?
And only a hua. You see, Abba. Anything. Chief Justice. Quite a no. Headmaster of a secondary school going to be in the Aquarius. President took away the whole plane. They took away. We will interact. Almost a been me ordinary the mark between me play no will be against the poor. If you can say that is a misconduct, it means to say, you say no, I ticket will be between you. Now we a judge. If that is the good you, that's all a judge, high court judge. That case about involving a very powerful political person against Obi a woni fi no joke. Obi so betman yakokodro. A rule etia no. Chief Justice Kwani awon konso yo. Na ordinary high court judge. Ye be ye ot say ayi no. It is say dey ehu na aba beto ban mu. Saka na aba. But me who said this is a serious coup against the justice system. And it's sad.
Moka ethics asem. Me share petitioners di me who say a shining star petition na koye no omampani lawyer Tatuchi Kata, Speaker of Parliament lawyer title sorry and lawyers for the petitioner. 2 Oliver Baka Vomowo Daniel Foridi ono so in say bribi atwam no so legal advisor to the president ono so na lawyer awomode ekoye. In the previous cases Chief Justice no Speaker of Parliament no ono amu lawyer no Chief Justice na nya wantawa bi pen wo case bi a afenwuma ken case bi ho omampani mahama nso no election petition 2020 ono so mo ne maame no ni court na nya issues kakra na osan kofa mampani mahama asam o kan opposition say oba obeyi asie Chief Justice ni free ho na yatimi a reset the judiciary no esan de beka ho a ethically no is everything all right?
What they all can ethics yes against the Chief Justice. A political decision. A political decision. Machinations worked out, obviously calculated and executed perfectly. Yes, Constitution I see. And the Constitution is there will be added a better coin that's the Chief Justice. And now so they couldn't do choir. Instead, so they the security be do choir. Oba the committee. Committee now working. Wow, select uncrow for our pay. na afọ obi a wɔyɛ bitter te sɛ dɔm level ɛfa ne tena so wɔte committee no so a saa ma dɔm level appointment sɛ ɔnkɔyɛ board member ɛwɔ yoko clearly wọ́n sọ kyerɛ sɛ dɔm level ɛyɛ adwuma ma wo nti woyɛ happy wo saa ma na adwuma mmɔ I feel that such a person is going to give an independent ruling, not observation. It's way a political. A political decision. And yet legal decision. And Mamino, that's how they told all of us. They don't pay it. And oh my, who now is through and say, that's you know. Judge Bibinya could do Ayana, in the face of powerful person be. Judge Bibinya could do. And in the swear, the oath was swearing so Ayadumana. Anywho, it is a when Yasika only a political decision. And oh my, the son of which I told Matthias say, Tafu MP.
I echo business as if
no, Tafu, Swami MP.
Swami, okay, John Dako.
There, on support to Omumbabe follow that Esano. Well, he's wrong. Esano is a bonia. That's all correct. Yet the chief doesn't any that. Above for that's what we compensating chief justice. Because Wanya Bonibia. Wanya Bonibia. Now, the ministers are. Any more? The DM3 are the only receivers. The ordinary government department, security allowance, this allowance, travel allowance. The whole chief justice was all too quiet with me for the Krunko. And to be the minute in arguing. Tabafa for Bano with me a correct here, so correct here, any chief justice in any year. I mean, in any year. Ghana in any year. She hasn't done anything wrong. Who don't put some the judiciary. And I disagree with John Dako.
I see. Abani say no. Going forward, no. Obeka say, Mami no onye den because 6 cases na ye file ono file bi other individuals nso file bi ni nyina no e call Ghana court no from the High Court to the Supreme Court to lusu ni nyina. He found obetimi asiki redress. And the actual substantive case was Supreme Court. It's not pending. Okay. So Nyomudi no na yedin am. Injunctions. Injunctions no okay. So yes. the substantive ones no.
It's pending. Okay. And they say no. This decision has made nonsense of the actual substantive case. Because they know it means say any offense a moot. A man render the moot. And only the injustice in this matter. Because the Supreme Court case is still there. Some of the written submissions. A bit to Sabri, I say, Attorney General and Attorney on Bodakra. Because Mammy, you know. So, what you have here?
Yes.
Aha. It is your court. That's who could be man. Is it possible to would be my own bedding? Are they going to reinstate her? No. This whole thing is a political decision, not a legal decision. I disagree.
And you advise her, say, on Siki, you will court be a.
Oh, look, court be now. Court be. Constitution under Article 146. What is it? Committee no come with their own findings. The president shall act on it. And the president saw the constitution can do this. On the other hand, no guy Jesus Christ. Who wants to cry? Ask the people and say to them, no. You man a physical trial. You trial, no. Okay.
Yes.
As a no, after 2,000 years, you shall. It was Jesus Christ and in year. It will not no. Debbie. I bind be very restored. The dignity. Ghana and any now, and no one put away individual. Individual is an individual. Now, on minus way, it turns out to what say, will be able to achieve that. How? And there are rehearsal.
If it's a tokunu, ne Bonnie and say, or yeah, younger. na ye wo quote and unquote senior people on the bench na ye fall no wo hwe ne fie ene bredu a wa serve a ebinim wo nanim esen no ne ye de be ebedi o manim no ntina judiciary no ye edin a me ofa mu nyina na ase ye de mo ye bo wa ye nyo
I don't mean to be no because I don't have that information. Say, Judiciary ni share that you body. I don't have that information. Name no. So a younger no dey. Chief Justice can be younger if you are very good. And the emfa you see your mama bit my appoint you be or you far younger. Only judge straight. So on Chief Justice. Possible. But not likely. So what is the mechanism? Possible, but not likely. Likely say, more hona bino or the Judas. In your view, why the why na osha or a possible is so bit me I see my name. There be any bit because me am if you said my men in Ghana and in the year. The bit me restored on or rather is restored. Mean to speculate on who. Will be capable. Will be qualified. Name politically no. I feel say it's a wrong decision I don't Muhammad. I see. Lawyer, e better ask no pay any bre woni edin komo. Bibi ani e besama. Yame nka ho benia. Yame nka ho and so lawyer John Darko legal private legal practitioner ena oni ye edi enkomo ha ye betrim on Movement TV non-kron abo apaunsma edunu ensom. Alaji Audu Mahama abekansa. Alaji Bachewe there. I just saw tena say mame. Alaji Mahama Audu Mahama ye managing editor the custodian newspaper and pay Alaji. Good morning. Good morning, Dawuro. Me patron na ho to say mame ho ye. No. Oh, nyakopado. Ho de nyame dia che nanso. Ye ho ye. Aka ne aka. Ya sorry nsi di be yi. Ese Adiansa ye munya mesombo. Enti wiki mu nsem bebre asi ebi na me ne lawyer di honkomu ye chief justice the wiki ye sisi di no eye west performing currency wiki mampani mahama ne kromufo be 14,000 Adan refugees wiki mu so no akwatia by election aba wiki mu na kan Japan asase campaign a o kan se Muhammad made 8 years and recover from 1 million defeater. Baumia the elusu by 1.7. Also the how many years and the service mathematics start calculation in Yansen. Now Baumia elusu by our votes and also Baumia about 4 million 4 million votes. Mom was 0. Now one can over 1 po. Debbie. Obi our 4 million people already know. Say mathematics now no. On over 4 million. I bet taking also taking how many years to get it. What was 0 no how many years? So 1 year are mathematics and also. Okay. Baumia has 4 million. It will take him 100 years to. Also was 0 no how many years will it take? Also on person better say when we can say Baumia 4 million be 4.7 million be baby. Because no 2 elections are the same. Me GD. Me so me GD. That is true. Mama on yes our calculation no. Okay. So your calculation there best started with 4 million. Okay. But obviously no all elections are different now. Every election year different now. I know they are because Utimenya 2 million or Chanana 6 million. Next election. Utimenya 6 million this election. Not next election 2 million. Into elections, every election cry. But proper maybe 9 penno buy no because of propaganda. It was to counter the propaganda, to my understanding. By election, but I pay a large patch of where they have a Kunyawa Christian, will be Piaco, the Chicacra. Okay, Minister will buy when you have the benefit and tea because the radio is off. Yes, now also driving. Nice, so, may ye a Kakra set Kakra, who said, or he was trying to pick and choose the Befivano. Okay, because Ubetimi Baumia situation, no. And Baumiana Mahama situation, no? Yes. And they are took Kofu ni Rollins, sir. Because Kofu a back contested 96. Olusu by 1.3 million votes. Yes.
but after 4 years utimi recover Emma in the second round will be winning by 56% with the help of other parties. Now the only reason is say na Kofo nipa Kofo no the contest you know.
Yes.
Abria Kofo san ba bi mu no.
Yes.
Na say nipa ni hobium. That is Rollins.
Yes.
So Kofo eba be against nipa hofro.
Yes.
And the same way Mahama any Bawumia so akọ. Ena Bawumia lose by 1.7 million.
Yes.
The next election Mahama will have the opportunity to go with a new candidate from the NDC.
Exactly.
And by so do you know I don't think the one for the name analysis.
No, the first one of no mark of Professor Dubois here. No, my Jai Kufoni. Yababa Kufoni, Yababa Akufado.
Such at Nana Abetu. Tino, Nami Bismefena may say, okay, there's a me video. Me pese yebebo.
Okay.
Of honorable Canadian Japan. Yashem komona chef yo de. Na yemfan free ho na fi yenhwe adie enso so ewo so asante pacho ye video no ready my honorable Canadian Japan video no and say part of the campaign okono na some of the to enkuti na. I will try now quickly no mincha a video nintum so that also so betimi etie na we hu nkoma na honorable Canadian Japan na oni delegate ni share na oni omo AD so yenkoti ya
nkopo people ipa da sadi also be oti so abi efe ofe se ukun enya dwuma ye ana wo ba ye dwuma ya mpo na amodin ma edati ebetimi abodi woman adachi ebetimi abodi the party welfare in Yami. We need to build this party. Okay? And you will some and listen. Can you believe that? I think the 5 contestants, what was it development? Okay, 4 million. 4 million because party any capital. 80 may farm reform 100,000. Make farming 500,000. Now, never see so good diablo. It's a man fat uncle. I want a branch back, but a woman so. Now 4 million only buy. Now it's a deal 4 million. So I just like look. And then from the one, make your mom a deadline. Set on the 5th, a deadline to bring back 4 million. So I have to give them 4 million. Yes. It is silent, contesting as a flag bearer 4.6 million. What is it? They said, any year, any do my contractors there. And moving now, maybe what is the camera into so look at
all right, so Alaji, I'm going to Japan, and I will say, party na catch and say, you catch them so be alpha development fee of 4 million Ghana cedis, Emra. It's now a filing for me, party no, after no say, and draw a last day or more 4 million Ghana cedis no. And I will complain, say, it's a party in Niska. Now say, party no, Abria, party ni ba bemuno, say, party the contract, Emma party for. Akasa mbenye sika no ma support party no.
Okay.
Aha, and oh you tell penamish me be say is it on can Japan na kasa asemi about giving party to contract to party for and somebody else. I don't know what you also have to say about this. Any the and Randras me say Mamprugu youth no so issue statement on Kwesi Kwarteng. And the statement be a cultural Facebook say prior to the election Bawumia the arrival chief AC helicopter mu edniku see boko na ma attention by na microphone to aba and order so let instance in view
mama can any opinion Canada Japan there na can say now can say contract ya de ma party for anka ombenya sika e dia ye o say contract no hwan no na e de ma omo Okachi delegates no.
And the one can.
Non-party members now will receive contracts no wakanya.
And the one can.
Osan catch a party a delegates and they say or non contracts 1 year from MPP from 2001 up to 2024. Okachi or more contracts on year. Me, I've been a parliamentary correspondent for many years. Me wa parliament and I had the contract we buy. Say ya money yere ne yere nkwa contract on supply the electricity near Mabiwo Ashama area.
Okay.
100 million Ghana cedis.
I see.
Approval of that contract that no name wa parliament. And yere din buy bibia winchi and I approve it no man. Now so 1 million, 100 million the contract money in Kwano, and there were many more. Did he tell party delegates? Did he tell party people? Now no Bono regional chairman. Abronye. Or yeah, me make us say allegation. Or say MPP lose power 2024. Na finance minister Tianusika contracts are onya yeska over 600 million Ghana cedis. One can. Up to now, where our church or Sebi Nema Nyansenim, no spokesperson, have they responded to Abronya allegation? What is all my response? Say, even after MPP lost election, over 600 million, or no, I was 640.
67 million.
67 million, sorry. 67 million. Sorry, 67 million. Ghana cedis. And a cheer Emma Canada, Japan. Check is can you and yes, it's 7 million. No. Check ye.
Is it?
It is 600.
Sir.
Oh. Maybe we are check it. Let's take it. Say
67 million. And I order check.
Check it. Maybe it is 600. Even if it is 67 million. MPP supporters and MPP ministers are in any contracts. Even ministers are in any contracts. It costs 1 million, 100 million. Ministers are in and our party supporters, party penifo are in a contract. Even the 67 million, even if it is 67 million now, Omokoji is just after the election. Did he tell the party delegates and our party full soldiers, say over the years, on OG contracts? How many of the party full soldiers, any party for an OG contracts? Contracts no support say and all the ma full soldiers no. This is a candidate 2023 Omoko Primaries. What did he say? Almost say Akufado's ministers were looting like there was no tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, allegation are primaries here or Bantama. Or yet etia Francis as a Subachi. Say or Tom Abaya Sassi. As say Omu Nimnas or Motoma a year or no Niamo or Dibe Pino. Party for no Sebio Mo Yansan. Election no koye. Seniana all campaign man over here.
Yeah.
As Subachi won and won the main election. The people knew, say, they all cano Sebio na into a soup. They knew what Asenso Boachi, Honorable Asensi Boachi, Ayama Bantama for. They voted for him in the primaries and they voted in the general election. And the party, I have always said, any allegations, who are allegations, Nipa no Mokasa or Hono, Omanga or Nyanzao. They know what goes on in this party. Nipa delegates no Mokasa no. Omokazo or Mutimo Papa way, Dema okay, Oka say a name there, or benefiting from this party. They know. The smallest person in this party knows. Say, Niama Ken, Honorable Canada, Japan, Free Party. When you tell full soldiers, say, 2020, after the Oko 2023 primaries, Sukachi almost say, the parties, Omanya Ska, Omudidia, they have left full soldiers. Who Sika Onya and I know them are full soldiers. No? How many people got what you got? Said the Oko contester. It is not for you to destroy the party, to destroy individuals for you to. It's a mark of weakness. Say one team can't delegate near my way to my ama party no any oba be mo to me.
Okay.
It is not
so Abronya can say or say he was paid 645 million Ghana cedis on 19th December.
Yes.
2016.
Yes.
After the NPP election.
2024 on 2024.
2024.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, over meeting
645 million. Yeah.
Up to now, and the spokesperson Kwaku, he has not issued any statement to debunk this. And Sebio, me Markan, say party way at any material moment. I continue to repeat it. MPP delegates, Omunim Nepal, party Nusum Tanichi. They know. It is not the allegation that you make. It is not the noise I obey. Party Ninim Nepal on the beba. And the all cano me Nema Bebre Wahua. Baumia has become a target of almost every so far. We Menu have been very. I think we should give it to them. Educhum, I've not heard him attack. I've not heard them say more attack Baumia. But the other two there, Baumia has become their twin stake. I like
you be the northern part of Ghana.
Yes.
The tribal attack and the tribal card being played by the two candidates so money for attack Baumia.
Yes.
Because Oheman Prugu for statement now, I must say it was a political propaganda tool by the NDC. And it seems now can Japan crow for Nigeria more or more you
see, last what they Sa Mamprutini Kusasi it started a crane on a Dr. Mawu. Yeah, we are not chieftaincy issues by all the time, no, not Dr. Baumia, no crown, or not on your MPP flag bearer. He was not even MPPA. Sometimes not on no crown, or Coscunia, not as a near and obey vice president. The vice president, no, may Mamma say, same way. This issue has been there for years, and Dr. Baumia has no any influence in what goes into this matter. It's between two ethnic groups. Now, last week I say, so now project a year or so, election ago.
Yes.
Baumia, the center of the fight, no, Boku Central.
Yes.
Baumia or Yaman Prusini. NPP candidate or Yakusasi. Votes are in on ya.
NPP Ninya 3,000.
About Ninya 13,000.
Yeah.
Mamprusidi. So I get one neighbor, and you have also given perspective, context. MPP since UP tradition, echoes was no the performance of MPP. May and yes, may be ethnic, but naturally, generally, Kusasi zone, they don't vote for MPP. In fact, Upper East, the whole of Upper East, and near MPP area. I've said it here as offer election results in terms of percentage. We Volta regional, the region that gives NDC the highest percentage of votes, the difference between MPP and NDC Upper East over the years. So, and yet, Mamprusi and Yankosas about me, no, Mamprusi in internal MPP performing that way. By the way, so almost high allegations say another one there, Baumia Zongo ni he only won at one Zongo.
Yes,
yes. Friend say,
yeah,
Winneba Zongo. Results not. Enra project shows clear to say and no say another crop by another.
But we knew what BTV Zongo cry.
In fact, the MA cry and say many wow, yeah, allegation. Wow, Zongo no about me.
We knew.
Oh, Brian. Brian Champo. A day. Me penasem. Vanama ka say mamenja no. Me penasem, but sometimes one ye near ma who bet my yama party no any who near what you can do for this country. This thing about targeting Baumia and no party for no more van yajuma. Now on kai 98 election yebeko. President go for no ana kunta the venerable Judge Mensa. They no can fa akufo ho. Banchidada yan fan kojo. Who the corner say antoa.
I said Banchada de Kujuma,
Yantono, Yansan Kobium. But say bad for Omoto Banchada.
Yeah, I said I will can me one say, Ubi and Timiko can answer me obey, this will be a qua or to a finger Baumia.
I don't know. Kawasem, what can you do for the party? Uvinia, what can you do for the people? And then about Baumia now be a target. Look, 2023 almost was a systems candidate. He was a target. Say almost in Nipano, they are going around saying Nipano didn't buy a crowd or Ajano. So is he still a system candidate to be attacked? The fact is,
the funny part of that, and say, oh yeah, you see, a Akufo-Addo's opportunity and Tuntiano.
Yes,
but you see, Akufo-Addo's opportunity and Tuntiano. And Akufo-Addo's support to one support to.
So what at all has this man done to them? But the party for now always says a party for no name. The effort over the years, Dr. Baumia, the Juma Oyema party way. Okay. Everybody, when MPP. When everybody say some of the some of the promises MPP that MPP couldn't deliver no because Obia promising ya manya ni na obetima. Didn't they use it against Baumia say on over promise here his campaign on a year campaign no my party ni win here but near more kind on over promise here. Some of them left the party today. Omanja party no. Alan no call for those days so almost say Baumia over promise. And not in a party no we near there we near and the anti-man no you have to bonum. Today the man has been able to campaign so hard for MPP to win together with the president and the candidate Akufo-Addo to win 2 terms. He's been on the campaign for since 2008 MSC. No, me manager party for say any MP Baumia supporter I'll be Kasa on this primaries focused. Tell the people what the Baumia DMB has done for this party and what he intends to do for the party. That is the message. Ignore these noises or more. No. Once a while you respond, but your focus should not be on the candidates. Let them focus on Baumia. Baumia should focus, put his eye on the ball, talk on the issues that the people want to hear. Now, so can these delegates talk about? These aspirants talk about what is happening in Bole. Can they talk about the CD? Can they talk about national issues that vote for me to come and solve these issues?
Yes, Baumia supporters no are busily holding government accountable, whilst other aspirants supporters are busily attacking
Baumia. So and what kind of party is it?
There is, in fact, some of them cannot even mention Mahama. There is one aspirant who me Mahama credit.
I know the Oboni di anka be me there. Me ya would catch me body di. Me body di and I'll show reason why he cannot mention.
You go to me Mahama some.
Yes, and we will tell you reason why I want to me Mahama di.
Over MPP candidate now to Mahama.
So campaign man over face and now the ball. And
the next election is between the record of Baumia and the record of Baumia Akufo-Addo and Mahama. And the same person is oh media Unipa person me beating the record the Kwame Nkrumah. I want to hear
that you who voice no.
The Mary I said the only also person beat Kwame Nkrumah record because
to watch him call the
and I'm the tradition of MPP the most successful person in the tradition was President Kufuor. And then Akufo-Addo. And the person is not
MPP needs he will not even look at Kufuor's performance.
I say Kwame Nkrumah. The person beat Kwame Nkrumah until Honey.
Until Kwame Nkrumah ne standard.
Yeah. So
and then
so what it means is that Kufuor ne Akufo-Addo are no close to baby.
And then MPP Nipa. Opeso lead the party way.
Me da say Alhaji Mesa ba hobin. Alhaji
so we 1 point pen na yakan on campaign.
Mesa ba ho. Alhaji Mahama managing editor ma the custodian newspaper Professor Mebe Obuadi. I say me can say onipa me ne kasa na John Darko. Patronye do John Darko a lawyer Kwame Adofo. But or mention lawyer John Darko in our conversation. Tina mani di ebi ame boni di no ti mo fa enche.
Yeah, ka
Debbie any CD some.
Any
Savannah. I withdraw.
We MPP internal.
MPP. So me call Peter Ankuma, a deputy managing editor for the Daily Dispatch. Madam for course Daily Dispatch. Peter, good morning.
Morning Dero.
Na bia boko de.
Oh, boko na late na.
Ene de. Ene charge mu nyina.
Papa.
Obi obeto ayi ene wo query be ye.
Me meto yade ni bi. Na audu ande audu ntimi nto. Na audu ato ade ayi ama.
Ene menye. Eno menye no. Ene wo query obeto ayi dry fish kese ba ko.
Okay.
Na alaji ato akrante.
Na yade ni bi de wa de beto.
Ene bia beto ma de.
Godon no a. Godon na wanye ni nema ye no no so de na oyi.
Oso okokova NDC for primaries and newo Tamale Central.
Oboa omuhu na
ebi okwa campaign.
Omuhu na ombebo no.
There is a program wo ha o mato za
in fact omuhu no wo sai na ombeche no.
Me say ndra me catch there say ohwe no wa ombe
sai ko ha ombeche no.
Peter,
yeah, but memfa a chop am for ne atefo. Ene anka meba time pepepe na yesi teshifu omo ye omo festival
homo wana
na la fo nso unse eya omo ewo kiba la na roadblocks bi nso wo krom yesi se milo marathon bi program bi ni nti sa kwan no so nyina ma di traffic mo almost 2 hours
machine
nyame adom maba
okay
eni ne hia
ya ma kwa ba
ba me nya wudu hye sen ko omrantem na ma hu le nti a oche na meba no na
wo kaza eti for enora ma men kan e me wo Peter men family say na o ma ha
every
me kura en emre swan me na me nim say na me ba ha
sa o de try awudu mahama we say we be da win prim park president onya bibia ma ne nko o be so mu
se visa so say na fine encrofo should find X and all that.
Maybe na me on say radio no mo call off your bomb pass akopon mo na monsamla. But na on social media, na me monitor me connect ma me kan ntina me tie kakra oni lawyer ya danfo how the lawyer ne can tape mo boy ni na fine. But you see, I'm happy for one thing. Dawuro, that so far no campaign no inya enu mpempen so be hiti somewhere October November no
and e be picky
pa na initially time campaign start no na nam rough road we kaya and na tribal no you know, but you see yes, people must be careful. The religious campaigner end this year in the last elections,
and the tribal campaign
in the last election and abu no and your majority leader in parliament, he cannot go to his hometown.
President cannot go to his hometown.
About the IGPs went there. Ama,
Ebonicho,
Beba ho. Me Beba ho.
And this how your political party now start to be a campaign. Ni adna unkofo be started some more far such rough road. Hey, you must be worried. So I'm happy say no. I shifted because I'm so yeah no and like I'm who's a statement be about one thing because so we what is no man here politics are home be no won't even go campaign be no the party MPP cannot even go to Boku enclave say the NDC ya beto omo no because say mama ko promise Boku for some more region yes or say NDC wa bema peace ba oh de ntokwa bi ama ene ono ani krom na amfo
na me ka say
e nso nka ho hwe
sa aka no kra na entro
akufo ado enso ne bagumia ehwe ni krom fu ema 8 years BBS ono so ba 8 months
create region kra ma
14,000 ni krom for 14,000 adan refugees
yes enti unim eye say campaign be do propaganda what I say any voodoo calculations. It's better say you be call religion any tribal never do baby no a no-go area for the political party not even conquer campaign. A man for die ya shino man for fear ashe or boku because of partisan politics maybe more pe or sanum say sa na omko ye wo dagbon area
yes
ama and also in fact only ko show constitution mumpo 2008 constitution manifesto sorry
some independent
the NDC winia MPP na kum rade mane masabio ya 90 NDC winia omo be hwehwe the perpetrators unim say NDC winia no 2009. Do you know what they did? They went for Kwaku Commission. The same reporter Kufuor says, "Oh no, yeah, no report. No, I'm going to think of Ubi. Don't call court. Now, court. How is this possible?" In the end, it took the NPP administration under the leadership of Nana Danko Akufo
to solve the problem.
Through Otumfo, Nana, because Mabudi, sorry, and Sana ultimately solve the problem in Dagbon area. Enti, new maybe pa say abedu voodoo propaganda, voodoo calculation. Na the honorable Canadian Japan calculation no, na mamuza Facebook omaye I nukra in a form. It is a 9 pena, another voodoo calculation. And I mean, by now, would do election be started afresh. Now, I don't know, so this time, a different crowd. Then I can say, oh, 9 pack, 9 pack. Let me say it was it's the same as that voodoo calculation. In response to some but one year, I'm comfortable, so the young is I know better. Now, you enjoy religious, ethnic. You see, because candidates some of them are very bad losers. Some of them.
Obia kase wo lusu ye wo de kasa. Wo de mami yeko.
Oh yeah, but we need president election.
Na na ma bia mo bosso. Some of them, you know the people.
But with him, to be fair, Brennan ho, but me shifting from Ohana Yoko, Chief Justice, go no enkwa ne nam wo pa.
Na why you MPP for?
That be meba. I agree with Canada Japan on one of the issues so raised, even though I disagree with Nioma Bia no okeka about the voodoo calculations no you know. But that second tape now boy, you know. Look, where I disagree with him is a political party there, and running a presidential election is very expensive. This for the past 2 or 3 elections, parliamentary, you know, who contest an MP, who try development fee.
Yes.
And the MPs need to
no, MPs no, they say so much the Omaye. So why would I contest the MP?
Yes.
Who now be to development fee? Yes. Because MP now have consensus now for the 4 years.
Yes. Omutia. And before Christ said MPP be presidential form. It was captured.
Yes.
But
and you for
uncontested. So Honorable Canada, Japan cannot say before cut off from no name say. In fact, no name.
Let me put it on record. Let me put it on record. That no more years meeting. Me call almost share before CBB nomination.
Yes, and they told them.
Yes, say be nomination now.
So it's the office of Mudiagro. I hope you are presidential yeka yemahu guidelines as a Mudiagro. No, it cannot be agro. What you say? And on that they knew. And running a presidential election is expensive. It's apart from the form, no. Let's just a fee be no more agree. No one got top form in there, and they won't make us say, but why I agree with him, and I'm happy say moving forward now. The national chairman will be the leader of MPP. Or MPP Babema. Sharing of contract.
The national chairman has always been the leader of the MPP.
No. That be big.
No, okay. Well,
it was not. They said they are confusion. What I say? But there was nothing like that.
There was nothing like that. Yes, but once the parties recognize, the national chairman chairs all the meetings.
See, the problem is that anytime our president. The person becomes presidential candidate. No, he is de facto leader of the party. But you say it's very clear.
Okay.
Yes, so and say Oma a state Adiasha constitution in say because of him, the last administration, no, not even this one, since Kufompo, sharing of contracts, any kophobia, you contract ma. Yes, who running election a man for bow. Na party ni kwa hunyehiem omu yi omani ma omo no time
onum so okwa kwatie
time yes time enso kan honorable Canada Japan can me support no on that in any case honorable Canada Japan I would now can onya contract onya party ni e ba e nya na wo yi bia be no ma omu say omu nya party for no mbaji contract akese na du baabi omu di sense kan ko finance NDC and make comment very stupid and a comment against aban ma aban ni lose ye now ankofo no mo way
enti na Peter enti aban ne this contract ni mom no onim so mo NDC for na
no you see aban me say
the element and the wa aban ni mu no na o mu push ni the contract ni ma sankrofo no na onim se sankrofo ni NDC for
elements and I be munim but for whatever reasons
in the last administration we don't appointed a known NDC person as deputy NIB director. I'm reversing appointment.
And I make sure say into moving forward no some of these mistakes will never happen because we have to hold the leader of the party. In this case the chairman and cabinet no and buga at cabinet because what can I say president so on tia also be inside party for against the president.
Yes.
Now I'm be me percent do baby because come the same say president kwa no party kwa betum kwa to so vote of common that UAD.
And the way
South Africa no. Yes. Well because for one ma omo president dia esonomo asemka
Ghana
and omo benya kunya no so a esonomo semka he. Omo benya kunya no ka jomo ye tintintinti. Ye we a so onye, ye we a so onye. Na party ko no mo ko lose a na oba beblemu one person. What do I say? So on that score, I agree with Canada Japan, 100%. And to be fair, when some of these things were happening, Canada Japan is on record raised issues against. In fact, contractors do not contact Momu, Obomudi, Kofi Dobu Neade. He spoke against openly. Magdan, Canada Japan anchor, and next and because him Magdan and Kofi Dobu no more way. So we are saying, on that score. I agree 200 million % with Kennedy on that. But I disagree with the voodoo calculation. The same as the 9%, whatever, 9%.
But Sister okay, me should make the last election. How can you post one support party?
Okay. Me no nyadwen.
Or cut one support party now.
Because if nothing at all, I saw him going
no, not that.
Financial, it's not true. There are some central. Minimum Oboa Miskafem. Okay. Oboa individuals be a party for
individuals.
Yeah, no, but no. But if nothing at all, it doesn't matter. But if nothing at all, because we are party, you know, on no call rounds, no. On one is going to talk petrol, they call rounds to campaign for the party. You may disagree with what others have said on him, on what others have said about him.
No, I'm to you really, oh, mommy, we are. See, to mommy, we are. And can you understand me better? May compare on non support in 2024 to on support in the previous elections. I will not a topic of say, say, Mama Sikasi. So, shall know there. Let's say, Abria Omejina, you know. Na the support of the ma party no any opese obejina olusu ye no one support party no
and na e be no mo so and
so opese o so oye a true and true party person okona olusu win you should be able to support the party the way you support the party
well
and moreover no contractor no can say to boss contractor no can say Encrofo nya contract and Combebo no. Ono so nya contract no.
And it's a copa say no support for some of the
contract
oh
contract no dey be ma
don't personalize personalize
see it is not about personal
once you personalize it we'll take the idea into any show mu nyina
but okay correct the contract and no nya
he see not he's also going to pay. You are talking about specific amount or yes or beyond.
But going into the elections, no party for omuboa MPs nibi. No, obi to say Brana Champon support or the man even Eastern Region MPs cry candidates cry alone. That is the argument we are making. So the contract member party near and even now the Kobase Yokoto Abada say Brana Champon enya. I know say obe support to some MPs.
But you see, you
I know say he's going to help some MPs.
Dawuro.
Whatever it is, no. Some comfortable with Kofi Dobu ni ade. Apart from their personal friends, would they take money? Some the bread party. Say na ikwa kutia na kanwa edi. Say party nfa ko ya kutia by election.
SAS we are careful about this contract given to just party people. We should be very careful. As a buying. It is good they say the Obama party for
you balance
it. You balance it in a way. Cause also
but also my party for the door. Na party kwa hunye
I agree. Yes. But don't say obi nye party ni na say a contractor. Me man contract.
I don't think Alaji, the point is
that's not
Alaji, everybody na Kofi Job buy. We saw Kofi Job say all rise to baby away ni under Mahama first thing. And we be catch us say ebi crack can say it was a deliberate by John Ramanama to also create certain contractors almost bring the financial muscle to compete. And by so doing, no, where then Kofi Job the loyalty to NDC and Mahama will not be like to NPP.
Now, so contrast no, no. Who was in charge of awarding?
Well, media, me masama make can say.
I didn't blame
me. The NPP should have also been deliberate about creating contractors to Kofi Job's no standard no. So that so yeah pro MPP for. And now for some my classmates in anyway village anyway Katangani and I'm anyway that's UK Chicago na anyway number 2 double street.
With your clarification, I think
yes,
I'm not giving up.
Yeah, you still have to. You can give some to the so-called other side for, and also the neutrals, and also.
There's no neutral there, Masa.
I can be there. Or say neutral person in there. They say but like they were saying, the party must. And apart from that, what's up? A whole political party, MPP, say be almost steel factory. Why? What is wrong? Yep. Party back on 8 years. NDC by power 4 years within 4 years. No more. $20 million dollar party head office. Should be MPP head office.
Office in the Hamis say maybe a patriotic institute no one.
No office is some program be now kwa. Che, ahon chere.
Devi me say me office no.
Good years.
Ayi Peter office no you. Office no me say me dey ha me. They say usu school ama
na what stop from
Peter, about 6 million
party, no, be fitting $20 million.
Peter, about 6 million members and supporters of the party who teach school amomo. Hey, school no. On the corner say how many badges?
Quadruple track.
All right, so conclude on this one.
Conclude no. A bio indiscipline. So some of the candidates no so, and aspiring candidates maybe. When party have to take a decision, if you are black enough. Party no take a decision. No say yebeko no mko ya eni nsem bebre ekobai. I was say election committee no esa free meeting. So you cannot sit at national council and take a decision. Say mubeye ABCD.
Yeah.
Now now majina bontin majina campaign so am running the party down. We are also supposed to be lead the party
and discipline.
A typical example, Tamale Central. The national party no at Nasi. Say based on ABCD. Some of them are members of the national council and the party no decision making body. I could take a decision away. No, I could not campaign platform say we should have contested. Also, a party for who say any way, Utubamana or indiscipline. Anypan, uncle for me. When they start talking like that, maybe seeming support, say system support near the and also abuano last year the kind those allegations the tia not about me I say na system ne support no. Inti almost queue that process no say we are no obey the obeying. But here no the this second and I say the main opposition leader if you in quotes Canada Japan at stadium can say the process were fair.
Free and fair.
So I still have the voice here.
What you say? And praise say, Sana na everywhere. Say going into the election, you know, preach ya, no can slow down, in and say processes ne arrangement ne election ni bibia be fair. Na party for kasa into support. Then na che we be ka say going into that 2023 contest no, na system no, ye skill koma obi. Enti ye koya nim no ebe hiti but ebe yes say ebe stick it to propaganda say ebe call to area e dey make it problem mama party in the end naturally.
All right, so Peter Ankuma, managing editor for the deputy managing editor for the Dispatch, and comedy. Other issues home this week most akwatia by and meaning say enfan dey here akwatia security issue
small point short I'm say akwatia no Dawuro last week you buy no yanya kwan discuss but me catch you go don say and I told Audu Numukra our base say MPP candidate need to me win ya no I ade pa but me can crampo baako because o share say na kwa o nim say akwatia no and said anye I know who say swing and 50-50 constituencies
in terms of parliamentary.
In terms of parliamentary.
Presidential.
MPP, NDC are winning 5 now. MPP.
NDC started winning 5.
Since 92. Oh, 92.
Yes. But, so we share your history. So, anytime, Bia, Abambi, Beba, power, no. The first year, to some extent, the second year, no. By election, Bia, baby, I will win it. From after 1992, they say in him say it was one-sided election. 96. So what like I said now Rollins, yeah. But even 96, no, first year, second year there was no by-election. But a could do 1999, 2 by-elections nearby. But 99 the crown no. Now Rollins are so unpopular. Ama the opposition party no based. That no near car kontokano. Into now the Great Alliance, but even 96 and 1999 by election about so Ablikma Central no MPP winning and this is who winning Lambushi Audu Krum.
Yes.
Over 2000 to 2004. President Kufo winning first term no. We say by elections e call winning including the supposed swing constituency and access seat. Tusha NPP winning Kumawu. After Kumawu there, Obeka say MPP Omadia na stronghold. Bimbila Abra Ibn Chambers Eko J international appointment no. MPP supporto Nitiu Anoye PNC ni in 2002 mani winning. Wulansi MPP because na goodwill ne ade no ho winning. Even Amenfi West Enekwa NDC na MP ho.
Yeah.
But one of the swing constituencies because of the goodwill and now MPP war the first 2 years in Intino winning President Kufo Abreso. So all the 7 by-elections are by in 2000 between 2000 and 2004 and of course say Ekobasa na say call elections now party wa no the message is say man to aba mami ha munya development, especially when we are in this case NDC by omunya 1 year mpo. Forget about the threats of the comma minus is a man to about my Belgium lines same amko small scale mining in Juma any no. They started doing some akwan bi. Say man to ama NDC akwan ye be dai. Na one mpe akwan. So between 2004 and 2008 by elections by Tamale Central and the so be him say NDC there. Asawasen so NDC. And all do NDC. O share offense only for me na year by ni na MPP there. Nti mu che 2008 to 2012. Akwatia after 2008 election na some few I think 3 polling stations or so. 6. Omukoto into of course MPP winning. Of course na ye polling station na omuto abama MPP anyway. But etiwa Tiwa MPP ne winning here because Tiwa so ne obi anim say here but naturally pony MPP are winning pen but because na NDC na ewa ban mu no omo winning chiponi in 2009 by elections Jerapa de Audu Adamfo no okoye chief no na ye NDC de antenu kwa de enye news the same thing over 2012 to 2016 na this talents yes I say hona Wadamfo no koye chief referee de kaka no ejuma wo to no papa no enti The same thing, 2012 to 2016. The same between the only say I was interested in the turnout. Osha, this by-election is almost 60-something percent.
60-something%, yeah.
A unique. A Chester MPP ngui. Because by-elections are banging no here turnout now. 37, 34. I think the highest so far is the 47 or so. So this is the by-election now. Yakwa voter turnout no. E was ropa. Until they compare the votes coupled with intimidation in your course on the promises.
And it's
open.
Goodbye, you know.
Because when you say
election we na MPP niska. Election no
mo the contract ma MPP for kamu ko izega.
Me was general secretary ni Samia Okuno money or Chibe Funume nama. Charlie, I was happy them.
So, but in spite of no crown no, Osha vote by an HSA going forward no. Some we organize here.
No, what it means, the outcome of the election, HSA, in any day, any general election, Asimedu will be the lawyer.
Oh yes.
Because with all the intimidation and
promises
on the day of election,
what is all register a man for class on before why any man no money now so me do to this voter
no Asimedu in any election will be the guy.
Yes.
And see Peter made us say Aladim mami ti unso na we are make video intro
men check
about the na make video
look election way so ba akwetia presidential election now. Presidential the MPP area. When it comes to presidential results, since 2000, Ronnie Sepena me winning Akwitia in presidential. From 2000 up to 2024, a presidential the MPP are winning now. It's a parliamentary in the swing.
Yeah,
and the swing. But if you have a candidate, if you have a party in government, say there will be a kind of Akwitia or more a kwano problem ho people are unemployed people na aban bi aba say ye na ye wa ba mu ye be ma mo juma ye be ma mo roads one man to am ye sa na ma nyina
you get near person is Collins Dada go there to threaten people
exactly say man to a ye be stop bibia o ha if you are in that constituency open development roads in ye nebi what would you do rational thinking human being
every voter here will vote for
exactly. So any look, who's our election way are at least about 6 regions in a war southern sector or 7 was southern sector. MMDCs near now no more except those who are out of the country. Ministers in now except those who are out of the country. Agame appointees in now except those who are out of the country. With all the resources, even on voting day, they were doing roads. As for the money, I don't want to say it, but we are behaving like ostriches. Now more ska ebikoye. All these things are just for one by-election or more in a year. I think MPP should not be overly worried about this election because the resources and the energy that NDC put, they were just to prove a point. Because once it they were to prove say, oh yeah, now we are so popular. That's all they wasted all this money and resources in one by-election. But May election will not be the same. So if I see people say, oh, national executive should resign, they should be blamed for this election. Oh, Juma, what's the name? Kodua and team here. Yeah. For 2 weeks, no more, even without resources. Or should be yeah. Sorry. No, I think he went too far. I said it somewhere by putting his seat on the line. But he was promised by the people because of Juma no yeah, nothing no yeah, sir. They worked. They should not lose hope. MPP people should not lose hope because they've lost this by-election. People say, I've seen airlines say 3 streets of defeats. MPP are confused. And only there 19 seats police station there were Ablekumanov. Anyway, any there he built.
General election.
Masa. MPP what they need to do, they say they should omonjai a division say woman come together, fight this presidential premise. After that they unite. The one thing that MPP will have to work on is a perceived real of apathy. But me can baby. Say MPP supporters now move food. So far they are still not hungry enough. They are angry, but they are not hungry. When they are angry and they become very hungry, comedy or more, the apathy will also stop. And check within 1 year, 2 years, sir, hunger no better at come. And that's how I can.
Yeah.
That's the time MPP supporters will show their true love for this party.
Alaji made us say, I mean, NDCC Tom winning, winning the biggest losers. The independent candidate no more parliament Omujo Manuno. Now, independent candidate we saw a Bema, Onyeke, or Keke. And because now they have their two tests. They have more than 2 tests. It's also they are now independent candidates. Bɛkyerɛ at any dinner be me had. And I be time boy.
Oh yeah,
until there. As nothing factual, eh?
I say you another by-election member.
Obi, yeah, Mate. Obi send the video.
And you say nipa no be wo.
So Obi bet me akoje. Onim. Say wo share video ya me de betu ya. Na Obi gina baby na obi me ba wumia. Say ba wumia na me MPP elusu election na. Wo share video na o say am from mani bi onyi nipa. As nothing factual. I mean, for video in chat.
What are they? All this one. Hey, Baumia, a t-shirt and a campaign. Thousands of them. Yet the Abu warehouse with the CA Amayanti and Yampa campaign. I will better than what we know about. Share books. Full of Monshade. Now better than what we knew about without this. So who was responsible for this? Who was actually responsible for this work? Our dear baby warehouse and dear Guhonom, young pioneer campaign. And I'm not one with everybody in Yaba. And my idea, Munya serious, MPP, and I prepare kind. Munya serious. What I say, Munya serious, I can will say, and happy. But I'm in your book to leave mammy, or be friendly, and the evidence at Reno. Monshade, t-shirts, Monshade, all this one. Hey, Baumia, a t-shirt and a campaign. Monshade, thousands of them. Yet the Abu warehouse with the CA Amayanti and Yampa campaign. I will better than what we know about. Share books. Full of Monshade. Now better than what we knew about without this. So who was responsible for this? Who was actually
Madam Masalaji, so being a Sunday video, ma'am, I think I said if you be a China, you pay maybe a pay be free name near Babat. So call election. Now say in Crawford look, young station here, your Jiska, many God in that separate. The home because t-shirt demand for t-shirt no. Now Jiska SRS the T for Momudiska by the crochet t-shirt you be at the command for Bahre t-shirt, thousands of t-shirts.
I think Dawuro, if the party will not do it, the party, somebody may be in charge of this, somebody may be responsible for this. I think DMB team and Kasa should investigate this matter. Look, me Sabonzongo, Abulukuma Central, people were angry because my team alpha DMB t-shirts and brown. I took t-shirts to some people didn't get. Those who didn't get were angry with me. Who knows that Omar are angry, no, they probably will say that Omar don't told my DMB because t-shirts and no now be Astor t-shirts. And when they get up, Baumia is a problem. Baumia Nema lose election. All this sabotage.
Wake home.
No. Wake home.
But you can also take away abiding policies. Be any.
No. But that's what I just said. No, we are not going there.
But apart from that, he said after the election, Rana fertilizer beer or some kochema.
Fertilizers, yes.
Now your warehouse be fertilizers. Now when they are thousands of them. Oh, so who is in charge of fertilizers? When they are
thousands of them.
Oh, there be so
thousands of bags of fertilizers.
Now they be heavy. Fertilizers in here who you are. Now when they are Greek minister.
I be a Greek minister or supply na assembly ne Oma also
now we are minister and so supply you don't see to say conform me see me chrome no many language ukohona ko ties asema
now only na this is be few bi wonu ma the fertilizers ne komo mo so mo nche omo anchu no mo keep you assembly so ene ye to abawie MPP lusu wie no ene fi omo de cars ko si wo san ko mo kotwe e dey aso mo koton adi o kwan NDC for ndi omo fa so no so most of them NDC before say Mahama be take out of office kra no na NDC for na ache fertilizers na mo ho nti wo hu abura wa
I serious issues with MC be wo ha on the party for nye fine omo dey for 8 years now
there was a warehouse in Ashanti baby a fear in Ashanti region abrosan
Ablekuma Central MC no na wo ho no
the video came
man no wo ho no on the party for omo nye fine ma minute na ho for 8 years Ablekuma Central me constituency many Jimmy saying
Ablekuma hona
me say one the monjai attempt to know say omo di bibia abegu ba omi aso
hona na so no anso ka ho
no appointee amount
no as a candidate no the formation of campaign team I've always
and so ya asem
okay let's say we shall have Bɛkyerɛ on Movement TV live on Facebook live on YouTube. I will do Mahama managing editor for the Castilian newspaper, Peter Ankuma and so a deputy editor for the Dispatch newspaper, Sampani Fui and Miniomu Edi and Commando Pe. So Chief Justice Yenkwe say no na wo 20 I see what you go na ton kwam
me na me ba first so na dey ma Peter
o dey kasa me ba
mami fama alaji mami fama Peter alaji mami fama yeko
CJ same way say nyina ye kan say we a script be na NDC for Troy in opposition on CJ and omo be active sa script no on your friends into way there obi na obian him say once NDC for buy no and with the person leading the whole charge no na mame no ye nyina him say obeko but there may ya say can say we have had this republic how many presidents in here President Rawlings, President Kufo, President Atta Mills, President John Mahama first, number 1, Akufo-Addo and John Mahama 2. Only say all these presidents have been petitions against CJ and Yomo.
Yes.
Based on this same Article 146. How come say Omonyena? In fact, the good one be say me cite here, Professor Mills. In fact, when NDC was in opposition, almost omoba said omka so ombeyi tokonu. Almost omba ombeyi Mrs. Georgina Wood. Almost ombeyi no because of Nema be almost say mama no. Yeah. When they came because of NDC by at that time na President Mills. Well, law professor.
Yeah.
Also Nema no mo say as prudent president ana or no. Oh yeah no. When he because he was a prudent and I don't want to use the word reasonable. Prudent president no. Yeah, the petition no by there no yeah. Who guys obogu yeah?
Yes.
Who say e bi animu and I know that leading to there are many ways of killing a cat and I call Besano say also on your cat hunter. Because there's a reason why removal of CJ no.
That question na Kobe
Nebisa. There's a reason why presidents have been reluctant in removing CJs using Article 92 Constitution because that provision 146 it is not clear. It is not clear. That is why presidents have been very careful in using it. Obviously, now president my law professor lawyers say President John Mahama he followed the constitutional provision or no one year bonnie bia. Nti others no almost so almost bogu ye no so they didn't follow constitutional provision. Omo de na omo nim law professor no nim say Article 146 wo ho. No nim. Once you go through say prima facie case no when determine prima facie case. Any president in the Council of State.
Oh no.
So if the petitioner the buyer, no, if they had not determined, say these frivolous charges were waiting not to remove CJR, would there have been any committee? The president and the council of state, if they had looked at this petition, charges were already you, Mami, we say, where you frivolous, there cannot be a prima facie case against a woman. John Mama, constitution, I say, or set a committee, no, would he has, as will he say the committee? So when people say he followed constitutional year, no, that prima facie case in finding no crime there. It is not a discretionary. Check. Because you have to find a case. Because every petition bar, you have to look at the issues. Say way, say be away kwasiasem. Then you that one go. What frivolous issues way you found favor in these issues? Say when the council of say the woman has questions to answer. Then you set up a committee. What do you expect the committee to do? When the committee, in actual fact, was working under your supervision. So more now said here, and yes, sir, president now appointing members of the committee.
Yes.
And what you tell them probably is what, because you have written the script already.
And in fact, Lawyer Adolfo raised a very important issue. Say, Abrea Domain level. Yes. I win him say, or you're bitter against the woman.
Yes. Why will he be part of
and Ogusu or Tiwa or Yejuman then one man appointment as board chairman for
Yoko. You see, the committee, me, I will get there. But when the committee was set up, our cases were in my men, even when they say man issues are more determined prima facie case. One can. And our court, Supreme Court, said Nema, she appeared before the committee, requested for all this Omamano. The Supreme Court now was the highest court of the land, head of the issue way by. What do they say? Tell the woman. Say, because Nema were in camera, no, yes. You cannot, she could not have come to it. And I may be some questions say. Sir, time no now just about for born in a presided with others. And I may be say, if these allegations were made against any of these judges, we call committee this is a faces a problem way. Where would they have gone? Because they would have said, betina hona oman many injustice no na yede no, because you will have no place to go. Mami no call no, they threw her out that she's going and die in silence. And I'm having to say sorry, say or call human rights court or high court. And I make me say if the highest court of the land could not decide, could not save you or not, yes, could not protect you through legal means. High court, then a high court by
Judicial arrangement. No.
Don't worry, Peter. I know that human rights court. Now, your fundamental says the highest court of the land were decisions that they were supposed to take. She filed a supplementary affidavit talking about these same issues. Or they call human rights court at the highest court. Human protect you. High court there no me.
No, but they told her say those issues no and yet. Jurisdiction no should be the high court. Oh, high court is high court so it denied jurisdiction. Some need jurisdiction. There was
one issue. There was one issue. In fact, there was a supplementary affidavit. Almost the issues were in camera hearings, and therefore they did not have. There was no right.
No, yes, that's correct. But the issues were different from the human rights. I
understand.
Yes.
Now, human rights, who issues are different at the highest court, no crown, or high court, no, because the thing I've told you is a script. I'm not make you. I mean, your trust script to now be and when I make you. So I mean, I said this, human rights court, no, or no, it was. No, challenging the law was or testing the law, but it will not work. Eventually, it didn't work. Unim, say, my yes, based on issues now, Peter, because there's no time, you look at the issues. What should I say? Chief Justice or no way head of institution or two kind. Travel guidelines. A man of crime say ultimate between two kind with ne obi or person or didn't two kind. At one point, she traveled with the daughter. At one point, she traveled with the husband. This is the basis. First of all, cannot the man on any on one man spending officer no on him. Nipa no the pay no on him. And no quite, my so she came back with the money, and no, she paid back the money. Yeah, maybe say, yeah, president, so took on in the family to coin. Who pays for it?
Now you are the son of Bɛkyerɛ.
Executive arm of government. So president headed by took on family go. One etia. Speaker of Parliament, or took on the year name Maumun took one. In fact, the house girl Kwaku. One etia. Ghanian. How come a head of an institution, third arm of government, or no dear? She come with the young fan say, there's no guidelines from Pope. That's all corner to coin. And this is the basis for removal of the CJ. No politicians, Nyambe Chiomoka. It's a Mompran for Amudu Mutukan Ghana and the express of the state. Oh, there, Nyambe Chiomoka, Jamami, Jamami. Ayaka, Minamaka, another network. Unlimited. Okay. Mommy contempt. Oh, no, I late. Brantewa mantem. Yen minum ye menko because yes I may expose am for. Monya ne enko. Yeah, point 11. Nti Dawuro. CJ cannot do this. Another point in said or transfer will be. Yes. Hey, head of an institution cannot do transfer. Me so obi go to me madam for IGP. Oba Dampare. So transfer amount for. Yes. Papa will buy Yohonu. The regional commander Koha, Ridgeway Koha. Do we say obi kajem say transfer now CJ and victimization. So say into more transfer in Panya, they were victimizing the Brad Mahama. What transfer head that? What transfer shall auto say from NCC to Electoral Commission? And they victimization. Second one, no crowd, the other one. So letter come up and you say, one ye, justices. So suddenly was it binding on the president? In fact, when the president had not even acted, did not even act on the recommendation. But and this should be the basis. But only near Mahama so by 3 months, non so appointed 7 justices. On him. He didn't go through that process. 7 months. On 3 months, no appointed 7. But the responsibility lies with this judicial service recommendation. So the president has a discretion. Say me pay we. So that is the reason why they should have used this recommendation against Chief Justice. But more in April, or maybe can be, and let me end with it. If this Omomu AD the MA was the legal judicial service, no judicial, Omomu judiciary, the Omomu court, Omomu support to executive, say they should be subjugated. They want to be under the executive. And almost support to president and almost CJD. Mami Kaya Dachi. Mami after working as a lawyer for over 38 years, working as a judge for how many years? Over 20 years. From High Court up to you. Or by vetting twice or 2 times. She came to vet for vetting as a member of as a Chief Justice. As a Supreme Court judge. She came second time as a Chief Justice. Nobody raised any criminal issue against this woman. For 38 years being a lawyer and over 20 years as a judge. Nobody. That is the thing now, Mami or the coffee. Her integrity and everything is intact in the minds of right thinking Ghanaians. Now, me can't say. Omo di Mami way, your friend said, from the top, every member of this conspiracy theory or Mombide, God will punish each of them in one way or the other. The woman has God. You see, sometimes punishment will be among frontiers here. Punishment may not be you yourself. Ebi ebe oba. Wa wo don pa. Ebi ebe obi a o ben pa. Enu na asambeto no. God will answer the prayers of this woman. Injustice way from the top to the Supreme Court, the committee. Omo di mami we boni we. Nyankopon karma is real, and each and every one of them will suffer for it.
Alaji me da say, oye politician, oye abamu penny, what they want for 2 coin at the expense of the state. What they owe my sika at the top car, top daima umpra. Now we say Chief Justice one fan in pranko or the new crew and then the back. Now we say nunti we in a dear. Odo umpra ko 2 coin ko Dubai on the hotel. Obe washo. How saying at the expense of the state? Why would you see Kadia? Now, the old obey me don't prako. Na Ghana for Ghana for bomb. No, look at media. Na Ghana for a bomb plan hoka. Now, but to the Ghana for Sika, but top dying at the amount plan or her to talk cars. But Chief Justice don't mean for Nukunko. What in the choir? What the new from Ghana?
Only say, your president way. There was a petition. Obey is having a Daniel Mensah. In private, only dear Daniel Mensah. Or a high court judge. There was a judicial tribunal ruling on the matter saying unity. Yet the my president we says how a judge or endorse Mama in 2012 against the rules of a and also or banishi or be our Juma administrator be a hospital. Ye finding say Mamma Papano, judge Julian Pamano. They decide reporting now, Mama. So yes, he should have followed way or follow constitution. Why didn't he dismiss that?
In fact, before sir, about in the committee, there was a petition.
But he says I judge no cry, they no call court of appeal.
I may say there was a petition against Justice Poamine.
Yes.
And now, that petition, I'm referred to the Chief Justice. Before the Chief Justice will act on the petition, then Mahama appoint Justice Poamine to determine so be Chief Justice Nedi and Nasu Unity. Make us say that petition, there was a petition against Justice Poamine in unity. The same way, case I done it for the case now, the call, Justice Poamine should turn a case needs to be. A one of my favorable ruling, Madam Nufori, and a Chief Justice am I against. You waste of medicine. See, maybe I will miss Peter, Mammy Tio. I like the pattern from me,
Asamno, Audu Mahama. The unsuccessful Impact president.
Yeah, now must you always repeat this. Must you always repeat
the truth you want to palm.
Mr. I'm a campaign manager, so I'm also an unsuccessful campaign manager.
He has not told you. Only said that no. So tempting. Who said that no Lucy election? Yeah, coffee shop, maybe the Bankundi Tilapia. No, they're not to Numu, so your friend said, oh, no. I did not know.
I was just disappointed about betrayal, about people.
And if I be a more.
Human beings, not human beings.
I understood betrayers in the Biadano. From election on the who be beer, and I'm the bank who limit tilapia. I just
Madame would be, Madame was this me free a collection center or frame cram too.
No, worry.
I offer me, and I do not from me. Then, inauguration, what's that? No, she was very worried.
She was worried.
What is happening? My friend Pa, and female.
I know because a human being resembles Peter Batumamiti.
Near Ato Yamame, Madame Tokono Nunim. Muna Makambi, but you see. Papa ni movie pa menene kwa sorry no de bia no ushawa na futu o de mawa an say karma is real. We are so we bibia na why careful. Bibia be bia so hu say so nsusaso ewo. It may not come and net but ochina bi na clear say o ma anyi ma me because of law and I say why born bia.
No.
Politics. Now, God is wonderful, say. A bra almost started say, Mamma, boneno. Omuke can send baby, including the fact that who plays the Mama cry no muna. There was all one
video circulating and a brivia or boy of Mohammed, so I and Nanusi.
Oh, yes, see.
Or say, maame no hu pese mama no amuna nti obi hu pese mama no amuna de ede na wotumi one no ye adwuma onim ke kan sem bebre but thankfully ekoba say also munya petition to remove to kickstart the process no omo the petition sem bebre na koy omo ye nhwemu ko ye nhwemu ye no omo se baako na omo agina so a omo de ayede eyine na baako no kura ampo no luckily almost statement na the secretary to the president Callistus etroe ema reasons are omugina so di ma amena di no almost say Daniel Ofoli na a deputation ne buy nanim eya reho na I think there is God na nyame wo ho ade baako a eye me den so ne say onim petition na Daniel Ofoli no e de koye say enyi ma amena di no in paragraph 5 paragraph 6 Okabibi and I would look at Okabibi say prima facie case no yes it should not have been even been established against the woman because what that no for na any petition or the coin na of which I have a copy here page 5 I say it is before the committee appointed by the president per the 146 that the allegation of misbehavior and incompetence that we state and outline in this petition against the Chief Justice must be proved by evidence. Still, no other contest for proof of allegations other than the committee is provided for in the Constitution. The petition is therefore not the place to try to offer evidence of the misbehavior and incompetence that we put forward against the Chief Justice.
What? Yeah.
Or no, say the petition
no evidence.
And that's the reason why. That's the reason why a petitioner no untestify.
Yes.
When you say petitioner no untestify, because or testify, you cross examine.
Yes.
Into one testify. No fair witness is 13. Yeah. Into only
evidence. You see, a day in a so pana, the Mama and the Council of State. A dinner so
or time.
I did tell me some pa, Mamino or and some webby crowd also here nunti. Young committee, name Fanco Mom no Munkonqui. Because nothing was provided in the Constitution. In the petition. Yet, Omkote committee. No. There's God who. By winning.
And God is
in
good.
spite of that, no. Omkote committee no. Every year no. Alajaka or court koi per article 33(1). Also, you have every right to say Nipebia obetimi akwa fight for your human right. Nina court now. And that's why meet here lawyer Dofno can be say no, you say easy. So what may you CJ? And the justices, yes, and the justices of the Supreme Court, any High Court, near Appeal Court judges, Nina, and one was say, am I aiding? No, you cannot say so. Ebimo, what's it for? The Judiciary.
In fact, the High Court, banning the ehun. Amudin the ehun. You'll be asked on son in the Juma. But Supreme Court, the end of the day, Ebia can say, Ebidi yaw. Say, no more Hassan, I'm more senior to Mameno.
Yes.
And they appointed Mameno is sign on. And you be see on so they were from day one. They have never been happy with sir appointment by no. And the men are memo, Obi Bo Amenyo.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's him because when him in your son, the letter now, Secretary to the President, Emma. The first one they account was him, which is that on any kunu and to quine. No mko and Nikunu per diem. Meanwhile, don't share the Superior Court judges policy now. The amended one. On say Omobi last revised 2010. Yes. No more January 2019. The amended one. Now Omochre say the policy draws its strength from the other two arms of government. That is the executive
and then parliament.
Where the state fully covers the travel expenses of the aide camp and protocol officer or personal assistant who accompany the respective heads of their foreign travels. New Judicial Service Policy say Okay, the other arms of government now. State,
Yes.
cover omo edicams, omo protocol officers, and omo personal assistants. Omo no mutu kwan. It is a president to say speaker omo tu kwan out the personal assistant need edicam ko. Omo ni tia. And based on that, no more revise say
in 2019.
In 2019, say Kobase, the Chief Justice, A2. So the Chief Justice shall undertake unlimited official travels with either his or her spouse or other person of his or her choice in a year, fully funded by the Judicial Service.
Hey, but
do you know, sir, policy way?
Yes.
Are you go to no more lawyers, Massage, you know, educate committee nine?
Oh,
but the person who was Chamaso,
I challenge the Supreme Court judges and they say, some to kwaya.
Yes.
Why not ever find omo travels? Is it not the state?
It's a state.
And so would they travel with almost spouse and now say any person of their choice and now?
Don't worry, all these will be used against them. That
where the Chief Justice now, where the Chief Justice is accompanied by the spouse or other person, he or she shall travel on the same class of air ticket as the Chief Justice and shall be paid equivalent of half, yes, the per diem of the Chief Justice. And he said, Mr. CJ, and I said, Mr. Tokuno, the man half the per diem,
okay, and said a justice, bath one is what to coin.
Oh, yes, recently.
Acting CJ.
Okay, acting CJ.
Yes.
And I were to coin.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, my Matis and Kobo somebody.
Petition.
A back or request.
RTI. I'm back as a national security.
Salary of a travel a year where CJ national.
Sir, my idea.
And then a market near the absurdity and pathetic. Okay? When him say, states, but Obi can a problem. When him say, and a bima omoje double salary. No mere ministers omoje ya omoye MPs omoje sika aban sika kodi omo na o senka e clear violation be
Nigeria mo president Akufo-Addo Nigeria mo
how do what am for no me money be because we're very good friends.
Yes,
he's all over defending this decision just like CJ power down for no he benefited from such he was part of the double salary.
Oh no on
Peter, who na wanya na adbeche no be infant how me say who no be abo micro no
now so 50-50
e kwa me ukura no mutwetwe o se me de ho acho na nipa no wakoboko no no wo so mu no so fa
na bisa asa question no
I mean na me ko bisa asa question
no say 50-50
and o say 50 no kan bro for amanti ase o wi o say 50 I don't know me ya amanti asa apanika and Matia me do as I reproduce me question the president answer no yeah
50-50 one na oti
50-50 na me because no man penya imagine say
one prosecutor
onya ade obesa NDC MP 32 line akwako jeli om
yes
ba obi ntie obi de onyo
me say 9 PPMPs naka 87 no o do opa me ihu say omumu 50 at double salary jo mama de omu nyina be court de omu aguafia.
Oh yes. Unim ne how etosu mienu ne say
chale adewe
ne how
na me ho
in Callisto's letter no o sans feti say ni nyinaso mienu o musa so de pam maame no say oko recommending oko make a suggestion to the president say
on for judges be
on appointed judges be Emra Supreme Court na Supreme Court adwuma no ayeden a recommendation Ghana Bar Association support no on that sampa adwuma goes extensive work.
US
and my examples of abroche any they here say be here and they kwa yes we go judges on say 19 and
no time I have 14 almost a pack
yes and per the 7 now President Mahama appointed and 19 the idea based no just
Akufo-Addo was appointing people to replace those who have gone on retirement
16 at any point in
the maximum was 15.
Near your Mojane say 14 na wo ho no me nu pe na nya Akufo-Addo na appoint here emu 12 Akufo-Addo na appoint here and that's baba na me bi sasenti no na ka vacancy ni be da ho onya nto ho ana so onko se Mahama nso appoint bi bra
in this country before 2000 all Supreme Court judges were appointed by one NDC
including electoral commission ni obia
na NDC for
NDC in those cases. You see, what's a munya? Say, I saw almost say or make his recommendation. Now, can quote a statement not left here now from report now almost say an entire morning now say the Chief Justice cannot lay claim or be ignorant to the fact that or a mistake in appointing to how in let me read it. Cannot lay claim to ignorance of nomination process and procedure, notwithstanding the fact that the processes and procedure are not spelled out in the Constitution but case law. The appointment of the Chief Justice herself as a Chief Justice of the court went through the very process and procedure set out in Ghana Bar Association case. Therefore, to seek wittingly to outwit this known process and procedures for appointing Supreme Court Justice amount to misbehavior in the eyes of the committee.
Peter, you need
that's why I say upon 11.
11 about
so okay, Article 1442 now. A check processes of appointing a Supreme Court judge. But any clear said the committee now as to the process because or say the other justices of the Supreme Court shall be appointed by the president acting on the advice of the Judicial Council. The president will appoint acting on the advice. But Usha President Mahama appointed 7. Were appointed based on acting on the advice. He President Mahama rather wrote to the Judicial Council some recommendation. So Usha
case law.
But you see, the case law no Ghana Bar Association law against the Attorney General and a president no. Okaya Justice Doche Eka Bibi say yes. Okaya constitution there and spell out the processes no apart from saying say the Judicial Council recommendation as a decision so that the president will appoint or act based on that. No, you cannot force the president to that processes alone. You should be allowed. So the recommendation can come from anywhere to the president. So the president will then decide to say, based on this, and go through the process. In any case, when the CJ made a recommendation or suggestion, did you go through the process?
There be
action or ebaso.
Amaso.
Then I open based on.
My favorite judge Baku and Hami Justice Efiase Wasaribuchi.
Oh,
no cancer 5
Oh, yeah,
I am a so Mama Uncle Supreme Court.
Yes, yeah. Oh, but
because I know ye man.
So no, I'm so winning, sir.
You say you want to call up
court of appeal. Yes.
To boy Juma.
So, and it's okay. Way any case law now, or my court 2 year now. Mamma in Tiamabia, especially when the action implemented. Yet, imagine so say, why yes, auntie, ye need. Now, transfer there, it means that's where you be. Transfer, saving why yampona say, and yet say, or yampoa. Now, and no, enough, ye say, because administrative decision, ye so na yam pamon. Yeah, na minim say, mpenimfobi. Penfobebre any president Mama Kasaya went. Penfobi any Kasaya.
No, no, wait.
I didn't know you know.
In fact, who say my whole publication be say Amaliba Kraka say and Krofobi Kra try to immediate on behalf of my minister Mahama and Shene retirement to cry name omunye package man can retire a year cry no cry went. And I who say a Uncle P send a message say so 32 years why adwuma as judge no or coffee with 0 nti ne oni package bi odi coffee o odi sapan na odi coffee sa nti ye ko negotiate even retirement the man okra na papa na nti a ene na mu ma te se endra me hu video bi Peter
yeah
yes aba mu abi be 9 years edidi mampani atem ema se national security for airport ne maame ne papa chi omo. I saw the video on social media and I was like, and I only pan post to boy now already mampani atem no can say into waiting na and mampani man national security for a harass boy na ebusuan for some omo chi omo na I don't know, but we have to follow up on that. So Peter,
until the say yeah mama mama and
mama na can 8 years and some be retirement. So surely no NPP government and be back 2029 no many the next NPP government are be reinstating no. Me anke be reinstating no. And now be trying 4 years no akọ. Na akọ to omo a eya ne sa bone no oti Supreme Court bench ni so. No no omo de see ani wo hopa.
Only say some of them I'm told say omo ye na dan for pa o.
Abra no ho no only on the bunkusu ata.
Oh, hey, na you say karma is real.
Okay. Asante Pacho na Alhaji Audu Muhammad bisa se Gordon wo hen. Ma yemfa ba bia Gordon wo enche na watu menkra se esisi ko mu tua no tamalina no. Enya asem ketwa NDC primary school. Yes cash.
Say no on no hwe no wie. No onye no tiatia say no mo china no be hu.
And na delegates no say they should not be in position of candidate.
Enti Asante Pacho fa eyi no to so ne hwe ba bia Gordon nam ahantie nie. Enti ha mo amubisa say ene Gordon wo hen no wenti na ene mahu Gordon e wo bechirimtim tertiary students confederacy Tescon Tamale College of Education nti omo ye omo general meeting ene na omaton sa Fred Gordon na Salvidi ako as guest speaker nti you see
ya manu bibi o jina so
Speaker of Parliament or say you are saying into you are saying and you know Hana Gordon wonti we are obanyame adoma Monday mo betinkan timpanifo anopai medamase say mobile na yenemo edi say adwuma nyame ama ochina da sebe the standout bebremo adwada mensumi the movement in the morning adwuma dey sisi are Monday to Sunday adwuma no so enche yehu sa ne ma ko
mo hia moa
oh ye mo de hia
mo hia moa
alaji mo de hia
papa mo ye ma MPP especially DMB team chale mo hia moa mo hia moa alaji me sometimes chale
and the alaji oh lumba se ne nyame ni timi na o kan de na kan kese alaji mo ande kan kese
mo hia moa papa juma mo ye ma MPP any DMB team mo hia
moa pa
alaji yanko
di design ma alaji ka se no
chale minim de me kan o
alaji ni ni o karate
o mo bre
and Anui, last week Saturday, me no be share.
Yes,
Obisa me say na me car with him. And na ombe fakoye. Alaji me tro.
Me wa hana omo de ko. Me wa hana.
So
so wa no wa hana ko e.
Ba se de rodu ska.
Peter Jaka.
Me describe so we me ntimi kan wo e. But I will tell you.
Alaji, me say e na san no mo de buy. Maelalu. Eti ye hiamwa.
Oh, ska.
Oh, ska be.
Oh, la ko be nyon na to.
Base be.
Ya de ni bi ma.
Eni ska no.
Ade no kan do 40. Ade do 40.
Alaji eni ska no.
Ada no ye bo.
Oh, wow. Ade no. Member 130
Alaji ya ti eto you Peter, yesin kola bi agrofo bi ko wi odwan ho na omo ko wi odwan no na ban no omo nkom nti omo fra kola bi so mra na omo ani wura ban no ko bi ban no omo wi odwan no na omo ne akola no ko ku odwan na ye nyina wi omo che nam no ọmụ yi wegu ọmụ nyam na kitu abi egu ba akwan di wo to di ose you be nya kitu abi obeti e to pe ema na ọmụ ka bo mu na ọmụ chere fufu awusi ha yere ma se midi ni Kwaku Dawuro metina mu de ma God na sarvidi akọ nyakopọ ama me no be shia adwada no pa on movement in the morning